Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Naruto got harem with female ninja turtles? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content, and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the scout troop for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story. Link in the description. The Elemental Nation, a land filled with ninjas, the masters of shadows and stealth, working as mercenaries for any kind of jobs like assassinations. Here in the Elemental Nations they work in clans and part of each village like Konoha/Leaf, Otogakure/Sound, Sunagakure/Sand and many others. There are samurais in the Elemental Nations too, but ninjas are the dominate forces in the island. Another powerful force in the Elemental Nations is the tailed beasts. Each village has one sealed in a host called the Jinchuriki. But there are evil ninjas who want to use them as weapons for total domination or just make the world in their own image. Even corrupt and power-hungry officials want the same thing. Anyway, to Konoha, the village hidden in the leaf. This village was once very peaceful with the Senju and the Uzumaki clan around, but following their demise many Konoha ninjas, officials and members of the council have grown corrupt and power-hungry. Well, Naruto Uzumaki, who's the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox Kyuubi, has never gotten a good life because originally his parents Minato and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze wanted the village to their son as a hero for keeping Kyuubi at bay following their deaths, but not everybody sees it that way due to all of the corruption in the village. Fear is also part of it. Still, Naruto was able to push himself up alone and make friends, even become a ninja as well. After many adventures and missions, Naruto self-exiled himself from Konoha due to one mission that he participated in. This mission is to stop his friend Sasuke Uchiha from leaving Konoha in order to avenge his fallen clan that were slaughtered by his eldest brother Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke's only objective was to have revenge on Itachi and restore his clan. But he's unaware that his clan were planning to betray their village because they have fallen into the dark side of their Sharingan just like their founder Madara Uchiha. Originally, the Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and other officials were going to negotiate it with them peacefully, but his rival Danzo Shimura, who's corrupt and power-hungry, was not a man to wait for such a thing and forcibly order Itachi to kill them all. Back to the present, Sasuke was going to Orochimaru to help him get stronger. Naruto and several of his friends went after him to the Valley of the End. His friends defeated all of the Sound ninjas, who all have curse marks thanks to the Sand ninjas Gaara, Kankuro and Temari. Naruto was able to subdue Sasuke and bring him back to Konoha. Well, that's the good news, but the bad news is those corrupt councils are going to badmouth him because Sasuke was badly injured, but Sasuke forced Naruto to do that. Naruto chose to self-exile himself rather than hear the corrupt council badmouth him and left his Konoha headband hanging in his doorstep. The new Hokage and his godmother Tsunade sends the Umbu to bring him back upon learning of this. The Umbu were able to corner him and ask him to come back, but before Naruto can give out his answer they were all struck by a bolt of lightning, knocking them all out. Then out of the bushes came a man in an odd-looking samurai armor who then took Naruto away from there. Naruto was introduced to Urakusaki, also known as the Shredder, and the leader of the Foot Clan, who in turn revealed his past. Naruto wasn't happy that some knew about his parents, and didn't bother to tell him because his father had many enemies who hated him. Naruto asked to be trained by Urakusaki himself, then he can become the next Shredder and successor to the Foot Clan. Years later, Urakusaki has died of an old age and Naruto now wears his armor, now even changed the color his hair black, like his counterpart Menma from Road to a Ninja. Plus all of the members of the Foot Clan, including a girl who became his right hand named Mikage Kiryu, have sworn their loyalty to him. The end of this era starts now. Naruto/Shredder announces and pushes down a switch outside the Foot Clan castle. After he pushed down a switch, a massive blast wave shoots out from the top of the castle and spreads all across the Elemental Nations. What it did to everyone caught on it. The blast wave erased the jutsu, including anything else that's part of it like the Sharingan, Rinnegan and Byakugan. So after this, all ninjas of the Elemental Nations are now powerless ninjas, but they still have their acrobatics anyway. My Sharingan is gone, Itachi said to himself after learning that he doesn't have his Sharingan no more. Flashback years ago. Hashirama, Tobirama and Toka Senju have battled Urakusaki/Shredder, but were unable to defeat him, but they were able to defeat all of his foot ninjas but not him. Shredder approaches the three of them and raised his claw gauntlet. Now none of you will leave here alive, Shredder said, ready to make a killing blow to all three of them. Shredder, no! But Mito Uzumaki Senju jumps in and blocks his claw gauntlet with a kunai. I will not allow you to destroy my family, Shredder. Rah! No man, woman, or Jinchuriki can defeat me. Shredder roars, believing there's nobody the world of ninjas that can defeat him. That remains to be seen. Mito dropkicks him, then she waves her hand telling him to come at her. Shredder charges at her, throwing all the punches and kicks he has, but Mito blocks all of it. Mito moves back to a water tower, leading Shredder to accidentally cut off the structure holding the water tower with his claw gauntlet after Mito dodges them. Mito moves away as Shredder tries to flee from the falling water tower, while all of water pushed him off the building but gave him a safe landing. Ah! Shredder said as the empty water tower falls on top of him, presumably killing him. End of flashback. Hashirama, Tobirama, Toka Senju and Mito Uzumaki believe they killed him, but as they leave they didn't realize he survived it. Naruto muttered to himself as he wears his Shredder armor that's originally worn by Orokusaki before he died. Time for my orientation, he said, putting on the black cape. A shadow belonging to Naruto/Shredder walks to meet with all of his fellow foot ninjas at the orientation. He stops in front of them, then looks to the left and the right at his fellow foot ninjas on top before turning to Mikage, who steps in front of him. Master Shredder. Mikage bows to him, then she moves part of the cape that's covering the shoulder armor spike plates, exposing it. Roll it up, Mikage said, then 2 foot ninjas roll a rug before standing back with the others. Naruto/Shredder stands on the rug looking up at his fellow foot ninjas who are the new recruits. He raises his left hand and Mikage gives him the mask of the foot ninja as a new recruit gets down on his knees. Money cannot buy your honor which you have earned tonight, he said, putting the mask on the new recruit. You make us all proud. The newly foot ninja bowed to him and walks back to the others. Then Naruto/Shredder gives his speech to everyone of the Foot Clan. Only effort, discipline, loyalty earn you the right to wear the uniform of the Foot Ninja. You are here because I have a goal. My first goal on erasing the existences of the era of Jutsu and everything else that came with it has been accomplished. Now my last goal that you will help me accomplish is to end everything that's evil and the corrupted that plagues the elemental nations and make the world the way the Senju clan, the Uzumaki clan and my parents would have wanted. All hail the Shredder. Mikage raised her fist and everyone of the Foot Clan cheered. Finally, a beautiful woman in a hooded cloak said after spotting the Foot Clan castle high up from the trees. Time for my meeting with the Shredder. The woman gets down from trees, heads for the castle. This woman is named Shizuka. She's the princess of Nadeshiko village, populated by only kunoichi female ninjas and not a sign of males in the village. They have rules about marriage. The girls would only marry shinobi's ninjas who defeats them in battle. It's about being worthy to marry that kunoichi. Oh, even the kunoichis of Nadeshiko fell victim to the blast wave, and they too are powerless ninjas. The reason why she seeks the Shredder is because she's having issues with a male wouldn't take no for an answer. Halt, identify yourself, Foot police ninjas guarding the entrance to the castle demanded after Shizuka stops in front of them. Shizuka, princess of Nadeshiko, I request that I see the Shredder. Shizuka removed her hood and told them her name. Send her and my fellow foot soldiers, Shredder said on a speaker next to the double doors. Yes, master, go on in, princess. The Shizuka enters the castle. I don't need an escort. I'm capable of defending myself even if I'm powerless like everyone in the elemental nation. Shizuka reminded the foot police ninjas that she can take care of herself even if she's a powerless ninja. Inside the Foot Clan castle, Shizuka removes her cloak and tosses it aside while on her way to the Shredder's throne room. She looks at his surroundings and the one she finds interesting is the maintenance of the Foot Mech, Cyber Foot Ninja and Foot Soldier MK2. Shizuka knows the Foot Clan would make better ninjas for the future, which are machines instead of organic beings. Surely no one in the Foot Clan will have a problem with that, but those outside the Foot Clan will. Shizuka enters the throne room. There was the Shredder sitting in his throne chair with Mikage Kiryu standing by his side. Welcome, Princess Shizuka. Shredder greets her where she stands with dozens of foot ninjas forming a square and surrounding her with their swords drawn. Stand down, foot ninjas. Princess Shizuka wants to talk with Master Shredder, and she didn't come here to fight, Mikage said, and they do what she says. My reasons for being here is because I want your help with my problem back at my village, Shizuka said her reason for meeting him. Enlighten me, princess. Shredder will hear what she has to say. There's this crazy dude named Kokuyo. He wants my hand in marriage so he can rule Nadeshiko, but I have no interest in that dude, and no matter how many times I say no, he just won't take it for an answer. Couldn't you have just battered him around even being a powerless? I've done that dozens of times, but Kokuyo just won't give up. Even being battered many times by Shizuka just won't convince him to give up. Now you turn to me believing I can get rid of him for good, Shredder said, standing up from his chair, then walking down to Shizuka. Yes, since you are very powerful ninja yourself. Oh, I do recall that Orokusaki died of an old age, and you're his successors. Shizuka said. This made Naruto remove his Shredder helmet, revealing himself. My real name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the former ninja of Konoha, and was trained by Orokusaki after he took me into his wing. And her too? Shizuka asked, pointing her finger at Mikage. Mikage? No, I trained her myself long after I became Saki's successor, and I found Mikage when she was wandering around the forest outside my castle. Then I took her under my wing. Then I became Master Shredder's right hand, Mikage said next while fondling with a shuriken. Anyway, Shizuka, I accept your request, but just not now, Naruto said, putting his Shredder helmet back on. Very well, Naruto, I have all the patience in this world, and I shall be staying here for now until we depart for my village. Shizuka leaves the throne room and most likely to find a place to sleep in the castle. Master Shredder, does she know that the era of Jutsu is no more? Didn't you hear her say she battered Kokuyo many times without it, Mikage? Oh yes, sorry. It's alright, Mikage. By the way, you and me know that even the tailed beasts are erased from existences too. Jutsu and everything else that comes with wasn't the only ones erased. Even the tailed beasts have been erased from existences as well. So that means Naruto/Shredder no longer has the 9-tailed fox Kyuubi in him anymore. That means the Akatsuki won't be able to get their hands on them and forge them into the 10 tails. Plus that power-mad Danzo Shimura will never use any of them as a weapon for his lust for power, Mikage said, smirking with Shredder. More to that, those Sharingans that he harvested from the slaughtered Uchihas are also gone, so he's just one powerless old man who can't even do anything left for his lust for power. Shredder would finally get rid of that delusional warhawk when he has the chances. There is something else, you know, your mother Kushina Uzumaki and Mikoto Uchiha wanted you and Sasuke to be friends, right? Mikage asked if that's what they wanted originally when they were still alive. Yes, Mikage, but sadly evil has to strike. Shredder means evil ninjas have to get in the way, and now that's not going to happen. Yeah, first someone who claims to be Madara Uchiha actions that got your parents killed, then Danzo interfering when Konoha wanted a peaceful solutions on preventing the Uchiha clan's betrayal. Those are the bad stuff that had to happen. I know, Mikage, still if those didn't happen then our mothers would have had their wishes fulfilled. Sadly they don't, Mikage answered. Let's get some sleep because tomorrow we depart for Nadeshiko village, Shredder said, and Mikage left for her room. Just make sure there are foot ninjas patrolling the castle and the surrounding areas, Shredder said to her, and she nodded her head. Shredder's quarters. Naruto removes the Shredder armor and went back into the casual clothes. Naruto then pulls out a photograph that shows a picture of his parents Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. He got that photograph from a vault room in the Hokage's office. Still, Naruto is mad at the people who knew who his parents was and didn't bother to tell him about it. Seriously, they had no right to keep him in the dark like that, then he wouldn't have put up with all that abuse caused by the fearful civilians. I wonder if there is another tailed beast, but just not like the others, and I wonder if she really exists? Naruto asked himself, looking at a picture of a woman with black long hair, gray eyes and pale white skin. The last part is she has multi-pale white tails behind her. Flashback training. Begin. Naruto in casual clothes is training how to defeat enemies while tied up. He's up against 3 foot ninjas while Mikage watches them. The first foot ninja makes the first move, but Naruto headbutts him in the right hand, then the other 2 moves in. Naruto knocks out the first one with a headbutt, then other with another headbutt right up in the chin, and the last Naruto grabs his hands using his chin before finishing him off with a spin kick. Well, that was too easy, Naruto said, breaking the rope restraining him. That's because you've grown stronger, Mikage said to him. Yeah. So it's unlikely any of our foot ninjas are a match for me, Naruto said to Mikage until she has something else to say to him. How about your foot elite ninja? Naruto stops in his tracks after hearing that from Mikage. I haven't gone up against them yet, so I don't know if they can overpower me. When you need training again, you can ask them up here so you can see if they can defeat you, Mikage said, smiling about that idea. Maybe next time, Mikage. In the meantime, we'll be heading for Nadeshiko village to deal with Shizuka's problem, Naruto said while his eyes were on his Shredder armor and next to it the sword of Tengu. Nadeshiko present time. Welcome Foot Clan, Tokiwa, leader of the village, and Shizuka attended greeted Shredder and the foot ninjas. The foot ninjas accompanying him, Shizuka and Mikage, are foot mechs, cyber foot ninjas, foot soldier MK2 and foot tech ninjas. Shredder looks left and right, seeing only Kunoichi's female ninjas in the village. So it's true after all that Nadeshiko only has females in the village and not a sign of any males. Tokiwa, Shredder shakes hands with her. I think you should get started disposing of Kokuyo right now, because ever since he found out the princess was coming he's been waiting for her to return, Tokiwa said to him, while they can hear stomping sounds coming from behind her. Shizuka, my princess, I've been waiting for your return. There was Kokuyo riding on his mech that looks like a walker. Master Shredder, you do know those mechs are powered up by chakra. Yes, Mikage, but now it's powered up by fuel, Shredder answered while having his eyes on Shizuka, who looks disgusted by the sight of Kokuyo. Foot soldiers, do what you want with Kokuyo, Shredder said. Then the foot mechs, cyber foot ninjas, foot soldier MK2 and foot tech ninjas lunges at Kokuyo, who was unprepared for this. They all tackle his mech, causing it to topple over. Foot tech ninjas drag him out of it as the foot mechs, cyber foot ninjas and foot soldiers MK2 trash his mech completely. Kokuyo stands up and all of the foot tech ninjas cloak themselves and started battering him around like a punching bag. They form a circle, then punches him wherever their punches pushes him to. Master Shredder said we can do whatever we want, so we do whatever we want. Random foot tech said, spin kicking Kokuyo while cloak. The last thing they did is collided their fists together directly on Kokuyo's head on every side. Kokuyo collapsed on his knees and the foot techs uncloak them. Shredder approaches the battered Kokuyo with sword of Tengu on hand. A good death has its rewards, Shredder said before decapitates Kokuyo in front everyone present. He didn't use the power of the sword of Tengu. Are we done here? Yeah, we are done, Mikage, Shredder said to her while eyeing his foot mechs, cyber foot ninjas and foot soldiers MK2 dismantling Kokuyo's demolished mech for parts. Shredder, I was going to tell you this after you were done with Kokuyo. I want to challenge you so I can be your wedded wife. What Shizuka says to him may have been her plans, but only after Kokuyo's demise. Before I can give you my answer, was there someone you fell in love with in the past? Shredder asked, and Shizuka might as well tell her past to him. Yes, there was a boy that I fell in love with. His name was Sajiri. He was a trader or merchant, and not a ninja. I was deeply in love with him, but I was warned about our laws and rules. Like me, Sajiri was deeply in love with me and cared for me. He also finds our laws ridiculous, but in the end he was ambushed and killed. Shizuka talked about the man she loved while become tearful. Naruto removes his Shredder helmet, drops it on the ground, then threw his arms around her in a way to comfort her. Shizuka, I'll accept what you really want. Naruto told her that he will accept what she wants because Sajiri is gone, and she really have to move on now. You're going to follow the rules, Lord Shredder? Tokiwa asked him because he sounded like he prefers to follow Nadeshiko's rules. You think there's a choice? Well, there isn't. Master Shredder, you can make Lady Shizuka happy? I can, Mikage, Naruto said, smiling on his word. Challenge time. The battle will be an area similar to the one in Konoha, except this is smaller. The audiences are the entire Nadeshiko Kunoichi ninjas, Tokiwa, Mikage, foot mechs, cyber foot ninjas, foot soldiers MK2 and foot tech ninjas who will watch the duel between Naruto/Shredder and Princess Shizuka. You know can easily defeat me with your sword of Tengu, Shizuka said, pointing at the sword of Tengu that's still sheathed around Shredder's waist. Oh, that. I don't need to use the sword of Tengu in order to defeat you, Shizuka. Shredder pulls his sword of Tengu out and tosses it aside. You want to defeat me hand to hand? That's fair enough for me, Shizuka, but remember we have no jutsu since that has been erased. Shredder said that's how he wants to do it. And we fight as powerless ninjas. A foot tech ninja raises his sword, then slash it down on the grass as a signal to start the duel. The foot tech pulls away as Shizuka and Shredder charges at each other. Shizuka tackles Shredder and punches him twice in the helmet face before being kicked off. Shredder performs a jump off, then hits Shizuka right in the gut. Shredder high kicks Shizuka similar to his old Naruto Uzumaki barrage, sending Shizuka flying. He follows Shizuka but recovers and lands a kick on Shredder, send him crashing on the grass, creating a crater. Shredder took notice his right shoulder spike plate is dented and his claw gauntlet broken. He takes those two off, tosses them aside, and continues on. Shizuka throws 3 kunai knives at which Shredder knocks away with his fists before Shizuka appears and throws a punch at him, but he catches hit and kicks her back, sending skidding on the grass. Shizuka charges again, flips over him and dodges an incoming elbow strike, then dropkicks him, sending falling into the grass. Just one more shot, Shizuka, Naruto said, tossing his damage helmet aside. Just one, Naruto, she said to him. Naruto and Shizuka charges at each other, and collided on impact, and they both fell on the floor. Naruto opened his eyes, then checks out Shizuka, who was unconscious. He felt his heads hurt, making him guess when they collided their heads bonked on each other, except that Shizuka is the one who got knocked out. Victory goes to Master Shredder. Foot Tech announces to the audiences that they cheered. I guess Shredder has earned Shizuka's hand in marriage after all, Tokiwa said after seeing the outcome of the duel. It also means Master Shredder is worthy enough for Princess Shizuka, Mikage said to Tokiwa, before returning. Well, I guess this is goodbye for now, Tokiwa, Naruto, who had his Shredder armor fixed, said to Tokiwa at the entrances to the village. I know, but still our village will be Foot Clan territory now, Tokiwa said, pointing her finger at the Nadeshiko flag with the Foot Clan flag next to it. Yeah, but I'm sorry, Shizuka's still not up for her to say goodbye to all of you, Shredder said with Shizuka in his arms, still unconscious. Just tell her we said hello and goodbye to her for us. Tokiwa gave him a favor. Will do, Tokiwa. Soon after that, Shredder, Mikage, Foot Mechs, Cyber Foot Ninjas, Foot Soldiers MK2 and Foot Tech speed away for home. Unknown to them is a strange naked woman with black long hair, pale white skin, gray eyes and multi-tails on her, watches them from the tree tops. She smirks, then jumps from tree to follow them back to the Foot Clan castle. Very well, I'm done here now. It's time for me to meet up the Foot Clan. The same strange woman from before just finished feeding on a woman who was human and leaves her lair to meet up the Foot Clan. Her name is Hagoromo Gitsun. I won't be showing up naked, but this will do. She used her magic to wear clothes and it's a schoolgirl uniform, then she leaves her dark lair. Konoha, still no sign of Naruto? Tsunade asked Jiraiya if he and the other Jutsulist ninjas found Naruto yet. No, Tsunade, still no sign of Naruto. This is really strange. Naruto leaves us and goes off the grid with no lead after the strange samurai appeared and took him away, Kakashi said to Tsunade. Back then things have not gone so well for Konoha in Naruto's absences. Many who knew his parents really miss him, like Hinata Hyuga, who had a crush on him but unable to approach and tell him about how she feels because her shyness is always in the way. Power-mad people like Danzo Shimura who want Naruto to be used as a tool against their enemies. Well, he's not happy that can never use that opportunity when that blast wave turned everyone into jutsuless or powerless ninjas. More of that, many of Konoha's allies turns their backs on them after learning what happened, so they say Konoha has crossed the line. Naruto, where have you gone? Tsunade asked herself, looking out the window from the Hokage Tower. Still they're completely unaware that Naruto is the Shredder now. Foot Clan Castle. So unaware that I'm the Shredder, Naruto in the Shredder armor said, monitoring Konoha from a TV screen. Konoha wasn't the only one he's monitoring. He's monitoring many others' villages, even the Akatsuki too. Originally there was 10 members, but now there's 9 members. The reason for this is because when the blast wave came, Zetsu, who wasn't human, dies, Haiden and Kakuzu loses their immortality and reverted back into being mortals again. As for Pain, he's Nagato again now. As for Orochimaru, Naruto enjoys his anger over the loss of his jutsu because he loses his chances to seek immortality like he wanted and his chances to retrieve the Sharingan. Naruto, you suppose it will be easy for us to defeat the Akatsuki with the era of jutsu and everything else with it gone? Even if they are powerless ninjas, you can't underestimate them, Naruto said to his lover Shizuka, who stays by his side. Oh, Master Shredder, I believe we have a visitor. Mikage reminded him and Shizuka that they have a visitor. I'm fully aware of that, Mikage, but that yokai fox won't be passing through the same double doors Shizuka used to enter. Shredder looks up on the roof windows above him. Crash! Down came that yokai fox Hagoromo Gitsun. She dents the floor after landing. That was some entries she really have to make. The Foot Elite ninjas arrived, but Shredder told them to stand down because this is no attack. That's some entry you made, Hagoromo Gitsun the yokai fox, Shredder said with a hidden mad smirk on him behind his face mask. I apologize for that, Master Shredder, but I prefer not to enter through your double doors, Hagoromo said, like licking her lips, like someone in this room is tasty. Okay, but no one here is tasty, so stop doing that. With that, Hagoromo cuts it out. Naruto, is that really her human form? No, Shizuka, that's just a human girl she possessed. Her real form is a 7-tailed yokai fox, Shredder told her while Hagoromo reveals her real form. Okay Hagoromo, you can go back posing as human again, Mikage said, and Hagoromo did so, but for some reason Mikage find herself embarrassed because Hagoromo's beauty in human form is very intoxicating. Oh, Shizuka feels the same way. Oh, don't mind me if you feel something about my beauty and my human form. I can also jump into another host if this one's life has reaches its end or was killed. Hagoromo told them what she can do if she loses her host. That's your way for reincarnation, Shredder, Phil, and the rest of Hagoromo's jumping to another host thing. Anyway, enough of that, just why did you pay me a visit, Hagoromo? I want to align myself with you and your Foot clan. Hagoromo reveals her reason for visiting him. Master Shredder, is that really a good idea to let a yokai fox side with us? Mikage asked because she's not so sure if that's a good idea at all. Remember, there is no Jinchuriki anymore. Plus she's not a giant-sized tailed beast like the others we know of, so I'm fine having her around. Shredder says it's safe, but he notices that Shizuka and Mikage are glaring at Hagoromo for one obvious reason. I can tell that's jealousy written all over their faces because they think Hagoromo would rather sleep in bed with me. First off, Mikage is supposed to be my right hand, but now she has feelings for me, and Shizuka is my wife and lover, so of course she feels jealous if I was hit on by another woman. Shredder thought to himself, while the glaring of Mikage and Shizuka continues to be aimed on Hagoromo, who only has a smile on her face. Later on, Master, what's your plan right now? Our next mission is on the abandoned ruins of Roran. Shredder told his Foot Elite ninjas what their next mission is. While we are on that mission, my dragon here will be setting fire on Konoha, and once our mission on Roran is over, my dragon will return to my castle, Shredder said, rubbing his dragon, Rain of Fire Dragon, on the neck. Now go, my dragon, Shredder told it, then it flaps its wings and flies off to Konoha. As for the rest of us, let's prepare for our mission. Naruto, you're going to bring us along too? Yes, Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo too, Naruto answered. Then once again Shizuka and Mikage glare at Hagoromo out on jealousy, but Hagoromo only smirks at them. Could you please stop making that face, it's kind of disturbing. Naruto tells them stop making that face. Oh, whatever, both jealous girls said, except for Hagoromo, who said nothing. This is going to be one long day, Naruto thought to himself, lowering his head because these three girls aren't going to stop anytime soon. Konoha. The village is peaceful right now, but it's not going to last very long because danger is already on its way or already here. Naruto/Shredder and his Foot clan are away investigating Roran, so he wants others like his dragon to have some amusement for a while. Ino and Shikamaru and others around them are hearing movement coming a distances away from the Konoha entrances. What on earth is that? I think we're about to find out, Ino, Shikamaru said as the movement settles itself. Then from the skies the dragon appears in flight. Ino and Shikamaru makes a run for it as the dragon uses its napalm breath, burning and killing most of the civilians from the streets, or from inside the houses, but thankfully Ino and Shikamaru manage to get away from the fire. We need to kill or fend the dragon off. Oh yeah? How are we supposed to do that since we're powerless ninjas now? Shikamaru said while watching fellow Konoha ninjas throwing their kunai knives and shurikens at the dragon but missing because of its flight speed. Yeah, you got a point there, Shikamaru. Hokage office. Lady Tsunade, what do? We will defend our village, Shizen, even if we are powerless ninjas, Tsunade answered as the dragon continues to light all of the houses on fire. Many civilians rushed out of their burning houses who the dragon set on fire. The next building that the dragon burns is the Ninja Academy, but all of the occupants were able to evacuate before it was set on fire. Civilians and ninjas use water out of hoses or buckets to put the fire out, but they are not making any progress because the dragon continues to burn everything around Konoha. It will take a year for the academy to be rebuilt, Iruka said to himself as the academy crumbles to the ground after being set on fire. Yikes! Iruka gets out of the way before the dragon could make a meal out of him on. I just wish we can use summoning jutsu to combat that dragon, Jiraiya said as they make their way to the others. Sadly we can't with our jutsu and chakra stripped from us, Tsunade said to him. Then the dragon lands, blocking their path. The dragon roars at them, then fires its napalm breath at them, but they were able to dodge that. They may be powerless, but they still have their acrobatic skills. Shizen was trying to put out a small piece of fire that was on the lower part of her kimono. Shizen, look out! Tsunade said as the dragon again fires its napalm breath at Shizen, but Jiraiya was able to save her just in time. Take this. Tsunade high kicks right on the face, but that only makes it mad. Not good, Tsunade moves away when dragon attempts to chomp her. Attacks aren't affected on the dragon that big, Tsunade said as the dragon flies off to the next area. Next the dragon burns the Hyuga compound, but thankfully Niji, Hinata, Hanabi, Hayashi and the rest of the other occupants were able to get out in time before the dragon shoots its napalm breath. The dragon has turned Konoha into a sea of fire. Well, not all of it, since some areas are still intact. The dragon then targets the Hokage Tower next. Oh no, not the Hokage Tower too! Kakashi yelled in horror as the dragon burns the Hokage Tower. Sadly, they can't do anything about it now. The dragon made one last roar before flying off, leaving the burning Konoha behind. Everyone who's here, let's do what we can to put the fire. With the dragon gone, they are free to put all the fire out. Yes, Lady Hokage. Everyone moves out to put out the fire made by the dragon. 10 hours later. Lady Tsunade, we finished putting all of the fire out. Sakura said they did what they are told to do. Now everything that was burning before is just smoke. Not everyone survived the attack, did they? Most of the civilians and ninjas were burned to death, my lady, Shiho said, checking the burnt bodies of dead civilians and ninjas. Still, I wonder where that dragon came from? Tsunade wonders, but she's about to get answers. Oh, but I do, Tsunade, and everyone turned to see who said that. Much to their shock and fear, it's Shredder. No, it can't be. My grandmother finished you off herself. You can't be alive. Tsunade said, refusing to believe Shredder is alive but unaware it's really Naruto in there because of the voice changer. He. I survived being crushed by that water tower, occurring that I will gladly extend it to you all, for none of you are leaving here alive. Wahahahaha. Shredder laughs as his foot ninjas and foot elite ninjas move in for the attack. Ruins of Roran. Well, here we are in Roran, my fellow foot ninjas that's left in ruins only, Naruto/Shredder said to his fellow foot ninjas, as well as the three girls Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo, who will probably be his lovers, but they have no room on sharing him. I know something or someone is here in these ruins, so we'll find it and bring it back. Master Shredder, I have a saying on this. Mikage has something to say about this. Tell us then, Mikage. Naruto/Shredder will gladly hear what Mikage has to say. The ruler of Roran was a girl named Sarah. She was a princess, then queen of Roran. A man named Mukade or Anrokuzan tried to kill her but failed thanks to Konoha ninjas assigned to protect her. The Konoha ninja squad is led by Minato Namikaze. Oh, so my late father was here, and I bet he did meet my mom but hasn't married her yet. Naruto/Shredder thought to himself about his late father. So when Roran fell to ruins a decade later, everyone living here including Sarah perished when it did. But why we are here is because someone or something must be here and active. So what's the plan, Master Shredder? Hagoromo asked. What's the plan? It's his plan. We're not splitting up on this. We stay together but our weapons ready in case something bad is going to happen. This tracker of the sources is straight over there on the rubble, so let's move out. Naruto, you do know your dragon is busy torching Konoha while we're here. Shizuka reminded him that while they are in Roran his dragon is occupied burning Konoha. I know, Shizuka. Our next stop after we are done here is Konoha. What he just said got Shizuka to ask him this. You want to bring it down, do you? Even the ones who tormented me for their bad belief that I was Kyuubi. Naruto/Shredder said his reason why for this. Besides, Konoha isn't village that the old Senju, Uzumaki clan and my parents knew anymore. Konoha is full of power-hungry people and corruption. Naruto/Shredder is right about that. Konoha isn't what it used to be anymore. That Konoha has become much like Madara Uchiha, even though those corrupt and power-hungry officials will probably deny it because they believe they're nothing like Madara Uchiha. Mikage saying about how much they are like Madara Uchiha. I only see Danzo Shimura as a spawn of Madara Uchiha because like him he wants to use Kyuubi as a weapon. Naruto/Shredder commented about Danzo's desire to use Kyuubi as a weapon because Madara Uchiha did the same thing in past, and that's when Hashirama Senju was Hokage. No more talking now because we have reached the rubble, Naruto/Shredder said as the beeping from the tracker gets really loud and he turns off. Cyber foot ninjas and foot mech ninjas, you're up. But no shooting. I want whatever or whoever is in this rubble undamaged or unharmed, Naruto/Shredder said, and they got started on removing all the rubble that's burying whatever or whoever is underneath. Cyber foot ninjas and foot mech ninjas did what Shredder told them to do. So all they did is remove all the rocks and rubble from whatever or whoever it's covering. After they finish, they pull out what turns out to be some kind of crystal object with someone frozen inside it. They move back so Shredder can have a closer look at it. He wipes the crystal sparkles and finally know the person frozen inside the crystal thing. It's Sarah who's frozen in this crystal object, Shredder said to the others. But who is that possible? Shizuka questions how is that really Sarah frozen in that crystal thing. If I have to take a guess, she must have learned how to use a jutsu and froze herself in that crystal thing, and I bet that was before Roran fell to ruins. Shredder explains his guess. I guess she's been frozen in that crystal thing for more than a decade, Mikage said next while inspecting the crystal thing. Okay, we are done here. We'll be going to Konoha now. Foot ninjas, cyber foot ninjas and foot mech ninjas, you will take Sarah back to the Our Foot Clan house. Shizuka, Mikage, Hagoromo and the rest of you with me to Konoha. The ones carrying Sarah in her crystal thing returns to the Foot Clan house while the rest went with Shredder, Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo to Konoha. Shredder then signals his dragon to retreat from Konoha now that they are on their way there. Previously, Konoha came under siege from a fire-breathing dragon which was sent by the Shredder, but everyone Konoha doesn't actually know that yet. Without any jutsu and chakra, Konoha ninjas have to defend their village from the dragon the hard way. Tsunade was able to land some kicks to head of the dragon which does nothing but make it mad. The dragon later burns the Hyuga compound but no casualties. The dragon's last act is burning the Hokage tower before flying off. As everyone in Konoha got started putting the fire out, they wonder where did that dragon come from. Well, the answer is from the Shredder and his Foot Clan here in Konoha, much to Tsunade's shock. Little did they know is the Shredder they are seeing right now is actually the missing Naruto Uzumaki. Konoha foot soldiers. Cut all of Konoha ninjas into bait. Shredder orders and the foot ninjas and foot elite ninjas proceeds into the attack on Konoha. Konoha ninjas. We will defend our village from the Shredder and his Foot Clan. Even if we are jutsuless, Tsunade said, and all of the Konoha ninjas get ready for battle against the Foot Clan. Oh Kami, he's got robo foot ninjas. Rock Lee commented after seeing the foot mech, cyber foot ninjas and foot soldier 2 Malawin Quachas. Machines are still breakable, Lee. Tenten tells him that machines are still breakable. Tenten shows him that by high kicking one foot soldier 2 Malawin Quachas, smashing it to scrap. Thanks for telling me that, Tenten. Lee spins kicks several foot ninjas, sending them crashing into a foot mech and blowing a hole into its chest, defeating it. Niji still used those attacks with his fists like if he was using his 64 palms against the Foot Clan, even though jutsu is no more. Choji used whatever strength he has with him to bring down foot mechs. Kiba and Akamaru work together like always to defeat various foot ninjas. Sakura and Ino is the same. Work together this time like old friends. Shino used whatever jutsuless melee attacks to tackle some foot ninjas to defend himself and his friends. The same goes to that lazy Shikamaru. Everybody else battled the foot ninjas. To Sasuke Uchiha, he believes it's no problem for him and continues to proclaim that he is powerful, much to Shredder and his foot ninjas' annoyances. Hinata gets confronted by Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo. Probably it's because the three girls are aware of Hinata's feelings toward Naruto. Well, Hinata Hyuga, it's no time for you to get shy, so come and fight all three of us, Shizuka said to Hinata. If you insists. Hinata goes into her fighting stance despite being jutsuless, and no more Byakugan, she will defend herself against Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo. Hey Hagoromo, fight as a normal human being. Mikage tells Hagoromo not to use her yokai powers when fighting Hinata. I can do that, Mikage. Hagoromo agrees and makes no objections about fighting like a normal human being. I'm in a disadvantage here. I can take on 3, but only if I had my Byakugan, Hinata thought to herself while she defended herself from Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo blocking their punches and kicks left, front and right. Meanwhile, Shredder fights his way to get to Tsunade. None of the Konoha ninjas are match for him, as every one of them are defeated by him by being battered or killed by his claw gauntlet or his sword of Tengu. Tsunade with Hamura, Koharu and Danzo were able to fend off the foot elite ninjas that attacked them before being confronted by Shredder himself. Tsunade, I've waited for this for more than a millennium. Shredder says, and Tsunade and the others knows what he's talking about. I talking it, your defeat gave you a lot of time, get more power and build your army, Tsunade said, but they have no idea Naruto is only impersonating Orokusaki, who was the original Shredder. If the Shredder knows Lady Tsunade all too well? Jiraiya said, destroying a foot mech. That same Shredder from a long time ago. Kakashi said, tossing another foot ninja into his comrades, making them fly like bowling pins. In reality, Naruto Uzumaki is the one behind the Shredder armor, and he's only mimicking and impersonating Urakusaki. But they don't know that right now. Shredder attacks but was confronted by Hamura and Koharu, old hags who just as power-hungry like Danzo. Shredder announces and swiftly dispatches the both of them through decapitations using his claw gauntlet and his sword of Tengu. Danzo charges at Shredder. Naruto used this as opportunity to kill the one man who always tormented him for the idea on wanting to use the tailed beast as weapons and being the spawn of Madara Uchiha. Always want to protect Konoha in your own logic way, aren't you, Danzo? I'm only doing this for the sake of the village. Danzo claims like he always believes he's doing. Wrong answer. It's for your sake of power. All because you were not made the Hokage and Hiruzen Sarutobi was made Hokage. Plus everything you wanted is all illogical. Shredder corrects him, but Danzo attacks him selfishly, refusing to believe that. Danzo isn't landing any hits on Shredder because with no more jutsu and the Sharingans he harvests from the fallen Uchiha clan gone, he is in complete weak and stated. Shredder on the hand was able to land punches and kicks on him, even wounding him with his claw gauntlet and sword of Tengu. Damn you, Shredder! Danzo said as he falls to knees. No, damn you, Danzo. Shredder grabs him by the face and brutally rips his face in half, similar fashion when Optimus Prime killed Grinder in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, killing the man who was always being power-hungry. Those who just witnessed what Shredder did to Danzo ended up vomiting all of the contents they have eaten. Man, he's really a killer, Shizen commented while having sweating bullet falling down her face after seeing that. She then whacks a foot ninja with her karate chop, knocking him out. After that's done, Shredder turns his attention to Tsunade, but not before firing an electric blast from his sword of Tengu that hits Sai, who was one of Danzo's subordinates. Well, Shredder electrocutes Sai to death. Now we're done with any more obstacles. I can finally fight you, Tsunade. Shredder now ready to fight Tsunade finally. I will not die by your hands, Shredder. I still need to find my godson. Tsunade announces that she still needs to find her godson Naruto, unaware that Naruto is already in front of her. Godson? You think you're his godmother? Naruto is only displeased with his godparents for not being there when he needed them the most. Shredder and Tsunade squire off in battle alone without anyone interfering with their battle, while Naruto proved that he's far more better than his godmother, as he had a black eye on Tsunade's right eye. Tsunade managed to kick the sword of Tengu off of Shredder's hands, but it lands near to the power-hungry and revengeful Sasuke Uchiha. This might be my chance to prove to everyone in the Foot Clan that I am powerful and I can avenge my clan, Sasuke said and grabs the sword of Tengu. Unfortunately, the sword of Tengu counters by electrocuting him and shooting him back. The sword of Tengu then returns to Shredder's hands while he was countering Tsunade's hard kick. Unfortunately for you, Sasuke, the only ones who can wield the sword of Tengu are the ones worthy, and you're not worthy of wielding it. Foot soldiers, it's time for us to retreat. This battle comes to a stalemate, all because of Sasuke Uchiha. But Shredder gets distracted and Sasuke throws dozens of kunai that pierce through his armor, damaging Hit, causing Hit to collapse on the floor. Sasuke then gets badly injured to his limbs, caused by Hagoromo using her multi-tails to break them as punishment for what he just did to Shredder. Shizuka and Mikage helps Shredder up and before departing with the rest of their foot ninjas, but also retrieve all the damaged or destroyed cyber foot ninjas, foot mechs and foot soldiers to Malawin Quaches. This fight isn't over yet. We'll be back for another round, Lady Hokage, Shizuka said to Tsunade as they quickly leave Konoha, and that warning is a promise. Kaboom! But out nowhere, explosives all around Konoha are detonated. The culprits who planted them turn out to be the Foot Tech ninjas. The battle was also used as a diversion for them to plant them. Thankfully, only all of the buildings were blown up and everyone else were out of the way. Mikage's POV. So far, our Foot Tech ninjas detonated bombs planted in Konoha, but we all know it isn't over yet. Aside from Konoha, there are still enemies out there like Orochimaru and the Akatsuki. To Master Shredder, we wouldn't have any problems defeating all of them with no more jutsu for them to use. Master Shredder also wants to dispose of Sasuke Uchiha, who's still proclaiming that no one can defeat him, and he can defeat Itachi even without his Sharingan, and avenges his clan, thus rebuilding it. But Master Shredder have learned so much of the Uchiha clan. He and us believe the Itachi only massacred the clan because they were planning to betray the Konoha, except that Sasuke is unaware of this because he was away during that time. It's quite possible that Hiruzen Sarutobi tried to do a peaceful negotiation, but that power-hungry Danzo Shimura who wasn't chosen to be Hokage was not a man to wait for such peaceful solutions and force Itachi to massacre the entire clan. I think we all know what followed up next long before Master Shredder killed Danzo by ripping his face in half. Oh, if someone has the right to rebuild the Uchiha clan, a suggestion is Itachi instead of that power-mad Sasuke. He's already become too corrupted for that task now. End of POV. Mikage then left to check on Naruto, who is out of the Shredder armor and resting in his quarters with Shizuka by his side. Well, he seems to be doing okay, so Mikage moves on to check on the others. She checks on Sarah, who is still frozen in that crystal, and the ones in charge of getting her out of there are Foot Tech Ninjas and Cyber Foot Ninjas, but so far they are still working on it. Next, Mikage checks out Scuba Foot Ninjas in training under a large pool the Foot Clan develop. The Scuba Foot Ninjas are testing battling underwater, and it's against Hagoromo in her multi-tailed yokai fox form. Well, scuba diving battle is another kind challenge for every Foot Ninja to try out, Mikage said, smiling as Hagoromo sends one Scuba Foot Ninja hurling and crashing into the window. Mikage then checks on Naruto's dragon, who's resting after having its meal after returning home and being done with its mission on burning all of Konoha. Enjoying your meal, aren't you? The dragon nodded its head as a response to Mikage. Good, Konoha. Meanwhile, in the ruins of Konoha, despite surviving the bombs detonated by the Foot Tech Ninjas, many Konoha ninjas and civilians have been badly injured and battered. Many are wrapped in bandages, while those who are not that injured help rebuild Konoha, but in a slow pace due not having many workers and Konoha ninjas around to help rebuild. Plus, all of Konoha's allies have turned their backs on them for what they were going to do with Naruto after that retrieval mission. We really did cross the line, have we? Hinata asked if that's true, which in turn caused all of Konoha's allies to turn their backs on them. We have no one to blame but the very corrupted and power-hungry Konoha Council. Kurenai told Hinata that they have Konoha Council to blame only because a large portion of them are corrupted and power-hungry. Hey Hinata, you realize those 3 women you fought against are Shredder's lovers. You think they know of your feelings for Naruto? Hinata only blushed red when Ayame asked her. Quite possible, Hinata answered, but it's quite hard for her to answer anyway. As for Sasuke Uchiha, well, his entire body is wrapped in bandages, which makes him look like a mummy. This was caused by the sword of Tengu when he attempts to wield it himself, and it electrocuted him. That serves him right. Where Tsunade is right now is some Konoha pub that's barely standing due to the bombs planted by the Foot Tech Ninjas. Jiraiya and Kakashi are there with her as she continues to get drunk over what happened to Konoha. Jiraiya and Kakashi believes she's just drowning over all of it. Barely missing Naruto right about now, Kakashi commented, reading his favorite Ika Paradise books. Tell me about Kakashi, Jiraiya said next. Minato and Kushina, are you watching the everything right now? Are angry or are you sad? Kakashi thought to himself and asking Naruto's parents a question. Foot Clan. Achoo. Naruto sneezed while he was putting back his Shredder armor. Somebody must be talking about me for sure. Naruto then puts his helmet on after this. Do you know who is talking about you? I honestly have no idea, Shizuka. Well, it's sometimes impossible to know who's talking about you. Outside we get a full view of where the HQ of the Foot Clan is located. It turns out to be the Whirlpool country of where the Uzumaki clan first originated. Ever since the destruction of the Uzumaki clan, the Foot Clan moved their HQ here. What we are doing right now is we are going to put an end to Orochimaru. He always wanted to prolong his life and make himself immortal. Now with the jutsu, chakra and everything that has to do with that gone thanks to me, Orochimaru is left in a weakened state and very vulnerable to attacks who will come to destroy him. I use his weakened state as opportunity to rid the elemental nations of him for good. End of POV. Otogekure/Sound. Foot ninjas fight their way throughout the Sound Village. All Oto ninja defenders are dropping like flies and are unable to stop them. This all thanks to the Shredder, Shizuka, Mikage and Hagoromo, who gives them the upper hand. Shredder fires a lightning blast from his sword of Tengu which fries Oto ninjas who are guarding Orochimaru, as he was trying to make his escape when their defenses all fall apart. No one to aid you now, Orochimaru. With that you cannot escape now, Shredder said, pointing his sword of Tengu at a weakened Orochimaru. I can never imagine it will be you who come to kill me, Shredder. Orochimaru said, but when Shredder, Shizuka, Mikage, Hagoromo, and his foot ninjas see Orochimaru's face, it looks like he's falling apart, like melting away, but they are a little fazed by the sight. Falling apart, I see, Shredder commented, smirking behind his face mask. Thanks to the purge of the jutsu, chakra, and everything that has anything to do with it. Orochimaru commented, with some part of his body falling apart like in a melting state. And now I ended up like this. Just a revelation that I want you to hear. I'm responsible for the purge of jutsu, chakra, and everything that has anything to do with that. All I did is throw the switch to purge it. Orochimaru's eyes opened wide as dinner plates after hearing that revelation from Shredder himself. Damn you, Shredder! Orochimaru angrily attempts to attack Shredder in his weakened state, but was pushed back by a simple and typical kick by Shredder. I hardly doubt that you can fight back in the weakened state of yours. But you're not the only one who's in a weakened state caused by the purge. Even the Akatsukis are weakened by the purge. Shredder says that Orochimaru isn't the only ninjas weakened by the purge. Well, one Akatsuki just died from the purge was Zetsu because he wasn't really human to begin with. Shizuka said that one Akatsuki died because that Venus flytrap guy named Zetsu wasn't human at all. Anyway, Orochimaru, you want to fight me? Go on ahead and try it in your weakened state. Shredder doesn't mind if Orochimaru tries to fight back even in his weakened state anyway. This fight can be interesting anyway, Shredder thought to himself, putting down his sword of Tengu to fight in Orochimaru in CQC. Orochimaru attacks Shredder, but a slow pace due to his weakened state, and all that Shredder does is pull back, dodging every one of his attacks and blocks each strike from him. Will you quit dodging and blocking me already? Orochimaru angrily tells him, and Shredder retorts with an uppercut. Orochimaru flips over and lands on his face. How's that? Shredder asking how's that for resorting to fighting. You're mocking me, aren't? Orochimaru answered, trying to stand up. Let's find out. Shredder now charges at Orochimaru, but a quicker pace since he's not in a weakened state unlike Orochimaru. Come on, Shredder! Hagoromo said, cheering for him like an actual cheerleader. Shredder and Orochimaru keeps fighting, but Shredder lands a punch on the gut of Orochimaru, causing to fall to his knees. Shredder then knees him in order to get him to stand back up. Shredder continues and repeatedly punch him in the face and push him back. Orochimaru on the other couldn't even fight back anymore as he weakened state reaches into 1%, and Shredder continues to land dozens of punches at him, and now kicks, even clawing him with his gauntlet. Shredder then headbutts Orochimaru, causing him to fall on his back. Get up, Orochimaru, get up, we are still not through here. Shredder said, and Orochimaru gets back on his feet ready to fight back, but this time he's got a kunai knife. I remember something. You tried to get your hands on Sasuke Uchiha as a new vessel, but you failed, and then Sasuke Uchiha tried to leave and come to your side for an opportunity to get his revenge on Itachi and avenge his fallen clan. But Naruto and his friends prevented that from ever happening, even defeated your Sound 4 ninjas in the process. But I also wonder if that red-head girl named Taiya is really an Uzumaki due to having red hair. As if you'll ever get an answer if she was really an Uzumaki or not. Orochimaru will never answer that question if Taiya of the Sound 4 was even a Uzumaki to begin with. Orochimaru charges with the kunai knife, but Shredder grabs him by the right arm, causing him to drop the kunai knife. Right back at ya, Orochimaru. Shredder then decapitates Orochimaru using his sword of Tengu when Shizuka throws it for him to catch, and that kills Orochimaru for good, ending the Snake Sannin forever. Good riddance, Shizuka said after seeing Orochimaru dead finally. By the way, what happened to Kabuto? Shredder asked about Kabuto because they haven't seen him yet. Oh, he ran away, Master Shredder. Mikage answered that Kabuto ran away probably before they arrived. Oh, okay, we can get him some other time. Shredder assures them they will get Kabuto some other time, and when they do, well, it's really obvious what they will do to anyway. Hey, what made you believe that Taiya might be an Uzumaki although you never confronted her? Shizuka asked him about what brought up the part that Taiya is believed to be an Uzumaki. It was just a guess because my late mother Kushina Uzumaki has red hair. Shredder's answer was only guess. A distances away from Otogekure. Oh! That's not good. Jiraiya, who witnessed the entire outcome with binoculars, becomes horrified and quickly runs back to Konoha to warn Tsunade about this. Jiraiya returns to a nearly rebuilt Konoha to warn Tsunade of what he just witnessed on Otogekure. And he's talking about what happened to Orochimaru, which was caused by Shredder. Are sure you saw Shredder kill Orochimaru? Tsunade asked him to be sure if that is what he saw. Positive, Tsunade. I saw Shredder decapitate Orochimaru. Jiraiya confirms that he is positive of what he witnessed. Who do you think he will target next? Shizen asked him which Jutless and Chakraless ninja that Shredder and the Foot Clan will target next. It's quite possible he will target the Akatsukis next, Jiraiya answered, but there are things that Shredder needs to do before he can proceed with that mission. There's something I got a feeling of as well. And what is that, Jiraiya? I think Shredder is saving us for last. Jiraiya means since Shredder didn't fully succeed on destroying Konoha, so he will crush other enemies before proceeding on destroying Konoha for last. By the way, Jiraiya, any update on Naruto? Kakashi asked if he was able to locate Naruto yet. Still nothing, Kakashi. Jiraiya answered, much to their apparent dismay. But they still haven't figured out that Shredder is actually Naruto. They just don't know that yet, and Shredder hasn't unmasked himself yet. Foot Clan HQ. Naruto, still in the Shredder armor, sits in his throne with Shizuka sitting next to him like if they are a king and queen. Eliminating Orochimaru was one thing, so his next target will be the Akatsuki. But right now he has something else to do before proceeding with that. Visitors? Shredder? Shizuka asked if they are expecting a visitor from some other ninja village. Oh yes, we are expecting a visitor from some other ninja village, Shredder said, standing up from his throne chair. Mikage, bring our visitor to me. Shredder ordered Mikage to bring their visitor to meet with him. Understand, Master Shredder. Mikage prepared to leave, but Shredder has something else to say to her. And take Hagoromo with you too. Hagoromo appears out of nowhere and leaves with Mikage. Oh, I just want to inform you that our foot ninjas still haven't found a way to release Sarah from her frozen crystal thing. Mikage informs him that they still haven't broke Sarah out of her frozen ice yet. That's okay, we are not in a rush here anyway. Shredder says there is no rushing for that. He has plenty of patience to wait for Sarah to be broken out of her ice and wake up. Naruto/Shredder's POV. For the record, I wish to save Konoha for last. I just want to rid the elemental nations of all the other enemies first. What happens next after Konoha is destroyed and what I want to do with its ruins is entirely up to me. I can do whatever I want with it. My parents wanted me to be hailed a hero for keeping Kyuubi at bay. Sadly, right after their deaths, their wishes were left unfulfilled because they didn't know how fearful, corrupt, and power-hungry the Konoha Council are. From here, it doesn't anyone play by Madara Uchiha's rules. Maybe it's time to play by his. End of POV. Shredder and Shizuka awaits their guests while they have tea. Well, it's Shizuka only who's having tea while Shredder keeps his helmet on. Impressive for a star kunoichi ninja who's in hiding. However, I'm not looking for a spy, Shredder said, and the star kunoichi ninja shows herself from the window. She walks up to him and sits down and sips some tea. Natsuhi from Hashigakure, the village hidden in the stars. Shredder deduces who she is. I'm also mother, and my only son is Sumeru, who doesn't know that I'm alive. But my husband Hadarubi is dead. Natsuhi reveals her family members to Shredder. So why have you came to me then, Natsuhi? Shredder asks her why has she come to the Foot Clan to see him, while Shizuka only watches them talk. Ever since the purge, there is still one power source that can still contain jutsu, an odd-looking meteorite that enhance anyone's jutsu. The flaw part is it can cause damage to eternal organs and kill them. Our third Hashikage discontinues this practices upon learning of the deadly effects of the meteorite. Natsuhi explains what's going on back in her village, which gave her a reason to come to the Foot Clan. Let me guess, the practices is resumed again. Shredder took a guess that the practice on the meteorite has been resumed. Resumed by our new Hashikage Akahoshi right after the third Hashikage died of illness. Natsuhi tells Shredder who resumed the practice. But you assume that Akahoshi schemed something and the third Hashikage was actually murdered by him? Natsuhi nodded her as yes to Shredder's question. You know what? I think we can all agree that Akahoshi doesn't care about the deadly effects of the meteorite. Shizuka said as in conclusion that Akahoshi doesn't seem to care about the deadly effects of the meteorite. That's because he is power-hungry and a complete control freak. Shredder used the control freak as an insult to Akahoshi power-hungry personality. We are on the way to Hashigakure, the village hidden among the stars. Well, we are going undercover pretending that we'll be helping that power-hungry Akahoshi to protect the meteorite from enemies that wants it destroyed. We will only reveal our true intentions when the time comes. Oh, Hagoromo informs me that Konoha ninjas will probably be assigned to the same mission. Well, they too will discover what's really going on in the Star Village soon enough. As for Akahoshi, he will be disposed by me if very severe way as wanted to be. End of POV. Let's move! Shredder and Foot Ninjas start their travel to Hashigakure with Natsuhi as company. Technically she will be posing as a foot tech ninja because since she has been trying to stop Akahoshi for quite some time she needs her identity concealed for now. That's just until it's time to reveal their true intentions to Akahoshi. Once we get there just keep your identity concealed. Shredder tells Natsuhi what to once there. I understand Shredder. The disguised Natsuhi agrees to that. Konoha, Jiraiya, who was spying on the Foot Clan again, gives his report to Tsunade about the Foot Clan's next mission. Well, Tsunade assigns Niji, Rock Lee, Tenten and their sensei Might Guy to handle this situation. Just make sure you aid the Foot Clan whatever mission they are doing in Hashigakure. Tsunade means they have to collaborate with the Foot Clan until they learn what are they planning in the Star Village. Are you sure we should do that, Lady Hokage? Guy asked if collaborating with the Foot Clan is such a good idea. It's like you have a choice, Guy-sensei. Like us, the Foot Clan will be protecting the meteorite from an enemy that wants it destroyed. But Tsunade and they don't know the Foot Clan will only playing an act in order to have it destroyed and put an end to Akahoshi power-hungry rule. Oh, one more thing. I think gaining the trust of Shredder will be easy enough since he probably asked you to trust him on this mission anyway. Tsunade tells them the trust part might be easy enough since they are on the same mission. Okay, I guess we'll be at least a bit worried about gaining each other's trust, Might Guy said, then gets a move on with Niji, Tenten and Rock Lee. Hashigakure. Both ninja factions arrive at the entrance where they meet a star ninja named Sumaru. Welcome to my village of Hashigakure. My name is Sumaru and I'll be your guide. Sumaru introduces himself but notices the Konoha ninja glaring at Shredder and his Foot Ninja because of their trusting issues was least of a problem originally, but now it's actual problem this time. You both need to collaborate with each other in this mission, Might Guy. Because you, your students, me and my Foot Clan are in the same mission, Shredder tells the Konoha Nins that they really need to collaborate with each other in order to succeed on their mission. Lady Hokage said the same thing to us. This collaborations is the only way we succeed on our mission. Guy and his students agrees to collaborate with the Foot Clan but will have a hard time trying to trust the Foot Clan after all. Not to mention that they are unaware the Foot Clan are only here to destroy the meteorite as requested by Natsuhi and also to put an end to Akahoshi. Sumaru noticed the female foot tech ninja which is actually his mother Natsuhi which is doesn't know yet looking at him. But Natsuhi looks away after moments of looking at her son that she hasn't seen for a long time. That's because she and her late husband have been trying to destroy the meteorite without her son getting involved. Welcome Konoha ninjas and Foot Clan. I am Akahoshi the substitute Hashikage. Akahoshi introduced himself to both factions but noticed the tensions between them is still going on. But is Konoha who doing the tensions? Ah? Can the both of you deal with collaboration problem later and focus on your tasks? We agree completely. Okay, there was no need to shout for it. Anyway, the Hidden Star Village's desire is to become one of the 5 main hidden villages. In reality, that's Akahoshi's desire actually. I desire to become the first true Hashikage of Hashigakure. Sumaru expresses his desire which reminded the Konoha ninjas of Naruto. Like Naruto, Shredder said, but he knows Sumaru is almost like him. Well, the Konoha nin still don't know Shredder is actually Naruto. Naruto said the same thing, that he wished to be Hokage. Niji mentions Naruto saying the same thing before he disappeared. First true Hokage of Konoha probably, Rock Lee commented, although they never heard Naruto mentions that part. Like his father Minato Namikaze, Tenten commented next, but Naruto/Shredder already knows who his late parents are anyway. It's our job to keep that meteorite safe from an enemy that wants it destroyed, Shredder said. His Foot Ninjas, Mikage, Shizuka, Hagoromo, Natsuhi, Guy, Niji, Rock Lee and Tenten nodded their heads as a yes, that's what they came here to do. But actually me and Foot Clan came here to destroy the meteorite and put an end to Akahoshi. Shredder thought to himself about his and the Foot Clan's true attention here in Hashigakure. Well, I guess there's no need for me to explain any further details then. You all know what to do then. Akahoshi then retires and takes his leave. As everyone step outside, Shredder taps Natsuhi by her right shoulder. Your move now, Natsuhi, Shredder whispered to her, and she cloaks away from him. Guy and his students will be occupied getting something to eat, while his Foot Ninjas stands guard. Shredder makes his way to the house where the meteorite is located according Natsuhi. Where are you going, Shredder? To see the meteorite, Sumaru. If you want to tag along, that's fine by me, Shredder said. Where is he going? And tells Sumeru he's free to tag along if he wants. When Shredder and Sumeru made it to the safe house, they find the door broken down and the meteorite gone. I believe that enemy was here and took the meteorite. Shredder fires a bolt of lightning from his sword of Tengu, but the intruder, which is actually Natsuhi, following Shredder's plans, evades it and storms off as fast as she can. Should we go after the thief, Shredder? Sumeru asks if they should pursue. No need for that, Sumeru. Besides, we'll see the meteorite again here. Well, that's part of Shredder's plan too. The Foot Tech ninjas who are still working on getting Sarah out of her ice get a sudden interruption by the Foot Elite ninjas who arrive with a guest who isn't awake at all. Whoa! Is that Tayuya of the Sound Ninja 4? A random Foot Tech ninja asks, feeling surprised that they brought Tayuya, who was laid into medical bed by the Foot Elite ninja. Correct. Master Shredder ordered us to find her because he assumes she is an Uzumaki due to her red hair. The Foot Elite leader tells them what Shredder ordered them to do while he and the others are away at Hoshigakure. So our other job aside from getting Sarah out of her ice is to find any proof if she is really an Uzumaki, and that is a request from Master Shredder? Correct. But Master Shredder said there is no rushing things here, he has plenty patience for this. The Foot Elites then leave as the Foot Tech ninjas continue their work on getting Sarah out of her ice and got started on discovering if Tayuya is really an Uzumaki like Shredder assumes. Hoshigakure. The star is stolen by an intruder, which is actually by Natsuhi, who is following Shredder's plans. Team Guy and the Foot Clan are investigating while Shredder spends some time with Sumeru. Guy-sensei, can we all suspect that the thief was using chakra to fly? Rock Lee asks if that's even possible, but actually Natsuhi was cloaking since she is disguised as a Foot Tech ninja. That's impossible, Lee. All jutsu and chakra have been purged. Guy doesn't believe that's possible due to what the purge did before. Guy-sensei has a point there, Lee, Niji said, agreeing with Guy. If that's the case, then we have no leads then, Tenten says, until approached by Mikage, Shizuka, and Hagoromo. Well, there is no giving up on bringing that meteor back, is there? Shizuka asked the Konoha Nins in very scolding way. Easy for you to say, Shizuka, since you and your husband the Shredder are still trying to destroy Konoha. Tenten and Shizuka have their faces pressed on each other, and pushing each other back and forth out on anger, even gritting their teeth. Okay, that's enough, you two. Guy pulls Tenten back to halt the fight between her and Shizuka that's about to start. Mikage and Hagoromo pull Shizuka away and convinces her to let it go already. Akahoshi and he two of subordinates Shiso and Yotaka watch the two ninja factions pick a fight again. We'll never find the thief and the star if the Konoha Nins and the Foot Ninjas continue not to get along with this collaboration, Akahoshi said, realizing they'll never find the thief and the star if Konoha and Foot Clan don't get along with their collaboration. Shredder and Sumeru settles down to continue their talk. So where are your parents anyway? Shredder asks, but he just wants to know what Sumeru believes since he doesn't know his mother Natsuhi is still alive. My parents died defending the star from a foreign ninja, Sumeru answered, but that's what he thinks. Sorry to hear that, Sumeru. Shredder apologies for hearing that from him. That's okay, Shredder. Wanna hear an old lullaby song my mother sang when I was little? Sumeru kindly asks him if he wants to hear an old lullaby song that Natsuhi sang to him during Sumeru's childhood. Of course, Sumeru. Japanese lyrics, Natsuhiboshi ne Zakai, Yub Kanashia Yumwamaida, Nate Hanashida, Akai Miyo, Natsuhiboshi ne's Meyo, Kita Warashi Wasagashiduru, Dakara Kanashia Yumwamiru. English lyrics, Natsuhiboshi, why are you so red? Because I had a sad dream last night. My eyes are red from the tears I shed, swollen as I cry. Natsuhiboshi, why have you lost your way? I'm searching for a child who's gone afar. He can't be found though I search all day. My sad dreams come once more. I like it, but it also felt so sad. Shredder commented of what he felt about the lullaby. I know, I've also said the same thing when my mother was still alive, with my father. Now if you will excuse me, I need to meet with my friends Mizura and Hokuto right now. Sumeru then leaves to meet with his friends. Now for the next part of my plan. After Sumeru is gone, Shredder proceeds with the next phase of his plan. Tenten and Lee search the entire area for clues. So is Mikage, Shizuka, and Hagoromo as well as their Foot Ninjas. Find anything yet, Tenten? Lee asks if there are any clues to be found. Nothing, Lee. Tenten turns her sights to the Foot Clan. She sees Shizuka shaking her head as though they too haven't found any clues. Even the Foot Ninjas have found nothing after coming back from their fake search. I guess none of us have found any clues or answers, Niji said to Tenten and Lee. If only I had my Byakugan in the first place, we would be getting somewhere faster. Niji now imagines that if he ever had his Byakugan, they would have found something or someone quickly. Well, the fact is, you don't, Niji. The purge erased everything of the chakra and jutsu. That includes your Byakugan, Tenten said to Niji as a way of facing the facts. We'll be fine as long we are keeping everyone in dark and we follow Shredder's plans, Shizuka whispered to the Foot Clan, and they all nodded their heads. I just hope Master Shredder has got started on the next part of his plans, Hagoromo said, hoping that Shredder have already gotten started with the next part of his plan. Of course he has. Before Akahoshi can make his evil move to take back the meteor, Shizuka said, because the Foot Clan might actually suspect that Akahoshi may have planned to get the meteor back from the thief. With Sumeru. Sumeru meets up with two of his friends Mizura and Hokuto, who were training and talking. Oh hey Sumeru. Hokuto says hello to him. We heard that you were with the Shredder. Mizura said that like it sounded at all exciting. Before Sumeru can say something, both Mizura and Hokuto are hit by some kind sleeping dart and collapse on the ground. Ouch. Sumeru was hit on the neck by the same sleeping dart, which he pulls off, but he still collapses on the ground. Sumeru could see someone coming his way, but his visions becomes too blurry for him to see who it is. Sorry Sumeru. Natsuhi, who's behind this, apologies to her son as soon as he falls asleep. Natsuhi, posing as a foot tech ninja, arrives with Sumeru and the meteor, where she meets up with Shredder and his squadron of foot soldiers, 2 Malawin Quachas. Don't worry about Sumeru. As long as you use sleeping darts, he's unharmed anyway. Shredder tells a concerned Natsuhi that her son is fine because sleeping darts are not fatal. Still, I didn't like this idea of yours, Shredder, Natsuhi told him. Well, this plan is finished, so we will never try something like this ever again. Shredder assures Natsuhi that they will never do that ever again. Next move? Hang on to the meteor and let's do this charade fight to take it back. Shredder pulls out his sword of Tengu while the foot soldiers MK2 pull out their katana swords. One against all of you. That's fine by Shredder. Natsuhi pulls out both katana swords since foot tech ninjas are armed with twin katana swords. What do you mean the star training is potentially fatal to the ninjas who take part in it? Tenten asked after hearing what Niji have discovered while the Foot Clan listened nearby. The star may some effects that is deadly to the ninja that attempts use it, Niji said until Shizuka approaches them. Well, it's regardless. We are still going to resolve to find it and take it back from the thief. Shizuka said they will find the star regardless of what they learned, although the Foot Clan already know what the heck is really going on anyway, and all they're doing is their undercover job while everybody else is unaware of it. Next they hear an explosion and a bolt of lightning shooting up into the sky. I bet that is Master Shredder, who just found the thief and is fighting to take back the star, Mikage said, pulling out her katana sword. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go and help Shredder, Lee said, and they run off to Shredder's location. Well, this actually part of Shredder's next part of his plan, which only the Foot Clan knows about. Natsuhi stands alone fighting against Shredder and his foot soldiers, 2 Malawin Quachas, following his plan and stay undercover. This fake fight for the star is actually just to draw attention. Natsuhi destroys one foot soldier, 2 Malawin Quachas, after slicing it half, and destroys another after crushing its head with land kick. The rest she defeats by shurikens and kunai knives that hits directly to the head. She blocks Shredder's sword of Tengu with both katana swords after he was going to slash her with it. Natsuhi eventually managed to make enough force for Shredder drop his Tengu sword before performing a dropkick, sending him slamming into a tree. Just keep fighting until the others arrive. Shredder tells Natsuhi to keep fighting him until the others arrive at their location. Understood, Shredder. Natsuhi makes her fighting stance with her twin katana swords ready to fight again. You have the upper hand this time. Shredder tells her that he will allow her to have the upper hand this time. Natsuhi charges at him in attempt to impale him, but before she can, Niji, Tenten, Lee, Guy, Mikage, Shizuka, Hagoromo and the rest of the foot ninjas intervene. Oh, and Akahoshi arrives too, but alone without anyone helping him. Whoa, the thief is really a foot tech ninja, Niji said, but what he and the Konoha nins, including Akahoshi, thinks is entirely wrong. No, this woman is disguised as a foot tech ninja. Shredder corrects them and pretends like he doesn't know that it's really Natsuhi in there. You all want this, don't you? Natsuhi said, pulling out the star they are all after. Well then, come and get it. Akahoshi charges in brute force, but Natsuhi cloaks, making him miss a shot to punch her. Akahoshi then gets repeatedly punched, kicked and slashed by a cloaked Natsuhi before being tackled to the ground. She then uncloaks as the Konoha Nins charges at her but are easily defeated. Lee gets tossed away after she grabs his spin kick and throws him at Guy, sending the both of them slamming into rock. Tenten gets punched into the gut after she tries to stab Natsuhi with kunai, and Niji gets kicked in the face. Next, Shizuka and Mikage team work against Natsuhi, but she cloaks, making the two girls crash into a tree, and Hagoromo pounces at her, but she evades her by making her fall off the cliff in the Valley of Death. Eventually, Shredder was able to land a hit on Natsuhi with his sword of Tengu using a bolt of electricity, which in turn caused Natsuhi to fall on her knees. Shredder then pushes Natsuhi off the cliff and into the Valley of Death. But Natsuhi grabs into his wrist and takes him with her. "Well, we know this is part of Master Shredder's plans anyway," Mikage said, whispered to Shizuka, smiling while they both looked down at the Valley of Death. "Sometimes these plans that Shredder makes is all meant to cause collateral damage." Shizuka implies that she sometimes doesn't like plans that can cause something collateral. Valley of Death. Thankfully, Hagoromo was able to save both Shredder and Natsuhi from falling to their deaths by using her multi-tails for them to grab on. Akahoshi will declare that this job will be over, but everyone will still stay because they still haven't got the star back yet, Shredder said, while Natsuhi shows that she still has it, and she is smiling. "Well, with the thief gone, the mission for the Konoha ninjas and the foot ninjas is over. Akahoshi actually wants to retrieve the star himself and kill Natsuhi without the Konoha ninjas and the Foot Clan's help. The star has not been recovered. The mission will go on. Niji says they are not quite finished here, but they might have already figured it out by now." "We're not joking here, Akahoshi," Shizuka said, glaring at Akahoshi, who has sweating bullets because once they all is figured it out, it will be impossible for him to defeat Shredder with chakra and jutsu all been purged. Next, they all step outside and confront Sumura's friends Mizura, Hokuto, and the rest of the star trainees. It's time that the truth comes out, and the Foot Clan will reveal what they are going to reveal after they are done with their cover, which is starting now. Now's the time is right for all of you to know why the star has been poisoning all of you, but Akahoshi still keeps the star training going, Shizuka said as all of the foot ninjas and foot soldiers, two Malawi and Quachas, pull out their katana swords. "If you all believe the third Hashikage died of illness, which was said by Akahoshi, well, that's all a lie." Shizuka reveals what everyone here in the Star Village heard about what happened to the third Hashikage is wrong. The third Hashikage was assassinated and murdered by Akahoshi, Mikage said, and pointed at Akahoshi, who stepped outside with his subordinates. "What? How could he do that?" Mizura, who was shocked along with the others, asked Mikage why would he do that. "Ever since the discovery of the poisoning the star was doing to all of you, the third Hashikage was alerted of this, ordered the star training discontinued. Unfortunately, Akahoshi, who's become power-hungry, had the third Hashikage murdered and had the star training resumed." Mikage reveals everything she and the Foot Clan knows. "Wait, how do you know about this?" Mike Guy asked them how do they know about this in the first place. "Because Natsuhi, the mother of Sumura, told us after she came to us in secret." Shizuka tells them it was Natsuhi who told them this in the first place. Shredder with Hagoromo and Natsuhi returns from the Valley of Death with the star intact. "When my husband was still alive, me and him tried to steal the star after seeing the horrors of the star training. After we got caught, the third Hashikage agreed to end the star training and we left to watch everything and prevent it from ever resuming." Natsuhi tells Shredder and Hagoromo the others parts that she left out. "We also asked the Hashikage to tell Sumura that we have died protecting the star from a foreign ninja." Natsuhi reveals another part that she left out. "Unfortunately, Akahoshi, who became power-hungry, had the star training resume, and he assassinated the third Hashikage when he refuses to resume the star training. He also convinced everyone of the Star Village into believing the third Hashikage died of illness. Akahoshi doesn't care about all of the ninjas who dies from the poisoning from the star because to him, it's a necessary sacrifice for the sake of the village. Wow, Akahoshi is really a control freak," Hagoromo said with a disgusted look on her face. "For being that he's going to die for it," Shredder said, crushing a piece of rock without any scratches or injuries to his glove and hand. He shoots a bolt of lighting up in the skies to get attention that includes to draw Akahoshi here. "Well, Shizuka, Mikage and the rest of our foot ninjas must have already told everyone the truth in Akahoshi's power-hungry schemes. But I will tell the extended truth. By fire Akahoshi shall fall," Shredder said as he takes the star from Natsuhi. "I'll hang on to this right now, Natsuhi. Shredder tells her that he will hang on to the star from now on. Something else that you all should know: if the star was fused into the user's body, it will not only make a chakra and jutsu more powerful, it also makes it out of control. Shredder reveals another flaw thing about the star, but the same as always, Akahoshi will not care about that anyway, as long as he gets what he wants anyway. Everyone arrives at Shredder, Hagoromo, and Natsuhi's location. Well, Akahoshi tagged along as well. About time. Well, Akahoshi, now that your crimes has been exposed, I bet you still want this, don't you? Shredder said, showing the star that he's holding in front of Akahoshi. Angered by this, Akahoshi quickly grabs Sumeru, who's already awake after the effects of the sleeping darts has worn off, and holds him hostage. Hand it over, Shredder, or I will kill Sumeru, who you see as a friend. Akahoshi warns him, but the disguised Natsuhi removes her foot tech ninja mask, revealing herself. Mom, I already know Sumeru. I had to leave you behind to spare you the pain of becoming an exile, but I regret ever leaving you, Natsuhi said, feeling remorseful for leaving her only son behind. Next, Shredder raises his right hand and made a growling roar that sounded the Kyuubi, the nine-tailed fox, and a telekinetic hurt Akahoshi's right hand, who growls in pain, and causes him to let go of Sumeru, who runs to his mother, and then embrace each other. You going to pay dearly for that, Akahoshi shouted, holding his painful right hand before pulling out a kunai and charges at Shredder in attempt to get the star back. Did you all hear that roar? Lee said, because the Konoha ninjas knows that roar sounds familiar. That sounded like the nine-tailed fox, Niji said, feeling surprised like everyone in Team Guy. What the heck is going on here? Tenten asked. Eventually, Shredder puts his hands on the spot where the heart is and makes another Kyuubi roar that caused Akahoshi to growl in pain from his heart. With that, Shredder managed to flip Akahoshi over. You think you're the fourth Hashikage after you murder the third Hashikage just because you refused to let him discontinue the star training. Everybody here in this village now knows of the poisoning of the star, and yet you're the only one who doesn't care about it, because everyone who died in that training, you only see it as necessary sacrifice. Well, it is not, Shredder angrily scolds Akahoshi over his power-hungry ideals. But I was only doing this for my village. Akahoshi makes an excuse, but Shredder punches him in the face. You're power-hungry, Akahoshi, and you've become very insane. Akahoshi turns to see that his subordinates have surrendered to the Konoha ninjas and Foot Clan, but out of nowhere the foot soldiers' two Malawin Quachas kills them by splatting their heads. Was that supposed to be necessary? Guy asked after seeing the foot soldiers' two Malawin Quachas kill both Shiso and Yotuka. Yes, it is necessary, Shizuka said to him. She seems to be in a good mood. Even Hagoromo, Mikage, and the rest of foot ninjas are in a good mood. No one here will listen to you anymore because they all know of your crimes and know that you're just a control freak. Shredder said, and Akahoshi felt insulted for being called a control freak by Shredder. Shredder is right, Akahoshi, you really are a control freak, Natsuhi said, making Akahoshi angry even more. Akahoshi swiftly and violently stands up, then grabs Shredder in the left hand where he was holding the star just to get his dirty hands on the star. Well, Shredder, who had other ideas to end his rule, let go of the star, allowing Akahoshi to get it back. Bwahahaha. Now I have the star back, you will all know that I'm the fourth Hashikage, and always will be the true one. With this star I will make Hashigakure another superpower village that will be the greatest over the others. And I will not lose to the likes you Konoha ninjas or to the Foot Clan. Akahoshi, who becomes more deluded, then fuses the star into his body, which causes the chakra from it to go out of control completely. He really is a control freak who wants to have power over the other villages, Shizuka said to everyone present. Even the rest of the ninjas of Hashigakure watch in horror as the chakra of the star eventually gives Akahoshi a monstrous appearance. So are we going to stop him? Lee demanded to know if they are going to do something about defeating Akahoshi before he kills everyone here. Master Shredder is already on it, Rock Lee. Mikage told him that Shredder is already on it now. Shredder pulls out something that looks like a pen and points it at the star, fuses Akahoshi. The pen then fires a red laser beam that hits Akahoshi directly, causing the chakra from the star to be erased, thus reverting Akahoshi back to his normal self. Plus the star comes off him and Shredder crushes it with his boot. What did you do to me? A weakened Akahoshi asks Shredder, who puts the pen away. Do you remember the blast wave that purged all of the chakra and jutsu? Well, the red laser beam from the pen has the same purging effect. Well, then you will all know who created that blast wave that purged all of the chakra and jutsu then, Shredder finally reveals who purged all of the chakra and jutsu in the first place. That was actually him. Akahoshi, horrified of being powerless, attempts to get away, and Shredder goes after him to finish him off. It was Shredder, wasn't it? Tenten, who was trembling with only Niji giving her comfort, asked after they finally learned it was Shredder who started the purge. You can tell Lady Tsunade whatever you want, we don't care anyway, Shizuka said, because what do they care if they tell Tsunade that it was Shredder who started the purge of the chakra and just leaving all ninjas of the elemental nations powerless. Shredder pursues Akahoshi in one part of Hashigakure where there is enough space to crawl under the houses. Shredder sees Akahoshi after looking under a house. Akahoshi stops running and walks believing he's safe, but Shredder trips him with a steel bar after ambushing him from under the house. Akahoshi headbutts him, but he hits him again with the steel bar, then changes into punching him in the face before pushing him into the house. Shredder and Akahoshi push each other and slamming each other's head in the walls, tables, and crates. Shredder slams Akahoshi's head on the crates 9 times before pushing him out the house. Shredder grabs a crate and throws it to crush Akahoshi, but he avoids it by rolling away. Shredder gets on top of Akahoshi and he attempts to pull his sword of Tengu out, but Akahoshi kicks it, sending it flying up in the air. So the two ninjas get up ready for a final face-off. I still can fight even without my sword of Tengu, come on. Shredder and Akahoshi fight. Shredder and Akahoshi fight on, with each of them kneeing each other on the gut and punching each other on the face. Shredder punches Akahoshi hard in the mouth, causing him to spit 4 of his teeth out. That's because Shredder's gloves have something metal on them. Damn you! Akahoshi recklessly charges at Shredder, but he knees him and punches him right in the gut, then sidekicks him in the face. Wayawa! Akahoshi gets decapitated when Shredder's sword of Tengu that was sent flying comes down and chops his head off, ending his power-hungry life. Aftermath. Niji's POV. We returned to Konoha after the mission, but Hashigakure gave the Foot Clan all the credit after Shredder returns with Akahoshi's decapitated head. Not so he joins the Foot Clan but makes a farewell to her son Sumuru, vowing to see each again. We already told Lady Hokage and the Konoha Council of our report, even mentioning that it was Shredder who purged all of the chakra, and just much to everyone's horrifying shock. The final part we told them is Kyuubi's roar coming from Shredder, which made everyone wonder if that is really Orokusaki underneath the Shredder armor, or could that be someone we know. Curious about what Niji told me about the roar of Kyuubi that came from Shredder after the mission in Hashigakure. I send one of my Konoha ninjas to infiltrate the Foot Clan HQ in the Whirlpool country to learn who's behind the Shredder armor without getting caught. The one ninja I've sent there is actually a kunoichi named Hanar, the ninja of Jomi/Lock Village. Well, formerly, because she chooses life with Kakashi rather her loyalty to the village she served and her job as a dancer or entertainer. End of POV. Foot Clan HQ. Foot police ninjas guarding the entrances allows Hanar to pass since she has them to believe he is an entertainer. But Shredder, who is watching through a monitor camera from his throne room, already recognizes who she really is. So Grandma Tsunade sends an old friend named Hanar to try and find out who I am behind the Shredder armor. Naruto/Shredder deduced that Tsunade was the one who sent Hanar here. You want our foot ninjas to deal with Hanar? Shizuka asked him if they should dispose of Hanar. No, just let her come to my throne room. Naruto/Shredder choose to allow Hanar here. If you insist, Shredder, Shizuka won't question his decision anyway. Konoha wants to know who I am behind this Shredder armor? Very well, they can know about, because hearing the roar of Kyuubi got them completely curious. Shredder wishes to reveal himself this time. Are you sure that's a good idea, Master Shredder? Mikage questions if that is really a good idea. I am done hiding, Mikage. While en route to Shredder's throne room, Hanar notices Foot Tech ninjas are still trying to wake Tayuya up, and they are finally making progress on breaking open Sarah's eyes by using a hammer and chisel to break it open. I wish we just came up with that earlier. Well, none of that came into our mind, obviously. Hanar keeps walking after listening to all that. Next, she walks past the giant room where Shredder's dragon sleeps, although the dragon woke up for a while after noticing Hanar looking at it before falling back to sleep again. Hanar will just keep on making her way to Shredder's throne room and don't stop for anything any longer. Throne room. Welcome, Hanar. Shredder welcomes her but pretends he doesn't know that she is actually here to infiltrate the Foot Clan in order to learn who's behind the Shredder armor. I will entertain you and your queen. Hanar readies her music guitar she always had with her during her days as dancer/entertainer. Notes. I have no idea what the Japanese guitar are really called during the old days, to entertain Shredder, Shizuka, Mikage, Hagoromo, Natushi and the foot ninjas who present in the throne room. She even used her mouth to hold on to the strings while have her fingers on the other strings to play while everyone watches. What do you want to do after you expose the reason why she was sent here? Shizuka asked him what he will do after he exposed Hanari's reasons for being here to begin with. No one will harm her because I always seen as a friend ever since her time with Kakashi. Naruto/Shredder says no harm will come to Hanar because even now he still see her as friend ever since that day she was with Kakashi. So that means you will have her sent back to Konoha? Natsuhi asked if that's what he will do next, send Hanar home. Indeed Natsuhi, Shredder confirms that's what he will do after as Hanar finally finish her song. That's good Hanar, Shredder likes it and clap his hands, everyone else clap their hands too. Anyway Hanar, you should already know that I already knew Tsunade sent you here to have me unmasked because you were all curious after the roar of Kyuubi was heard coming from me. Hanar dropped her guitar and fell to her knees after hearing that from Shredder's mouth. But my only intention is to send you home after I reveal myself to you because everyone is now being desperate on wanting to know who I am behind this Shredder armor because now you all don't believe I'm Orokusaki after hearing the roar of Kyuubi. You're being honest about sending me home, aren't you? I'm serious Hanar, besides isn't that what friends do? Shredder removes his helmet revealing himself to Hanar. Hanar her eyes open wide as dinner plates before collapsing on the floor fainting. Well that must have been quite a shock to her, Hagoromo commented, while the foot ninjas pick her up and place on a stretcher along with her guitar. Go ahead my foot ninjas, take her home, Shredder tells them and they get on with it. Aren't you worried about the shock that everyone in Konoha are going to get once Hanar tells them? Shizuka asks if that is something to be concerned about. Or what does it matter anyway? Right now I have something else that we shall do, Naruto/Shredder said looking at a small holographic image of a woman named Kushina Uzumaki who was his late mother. He might be planning on reviving her once he learns where she is buried. Well she is buried in Konoha but the question is where. Okay Hanar is at the hospital with Kakashi as company ever since foot ninjas came to our village with her in a stretcher. According to them she saw Shredder's true identity and fainted in the process. Foot ninjas won't say anything and told us to ask her ourselves who Shredder's true identity is. In meantime we won't get any answers from Hanar because she isn't awake to tell anything of what she discovered anyway. End of POV. Elsewhere in the Whirlpool country, Shredder alone sets foot in an abandoned village that has a shrine there but he's only there to find one occupant that lives there all alone. Shredder pulls out his sword of Tengu and leaves it there stabbed on the grass and keeps walking looking the only occupant in the abandoned village. I know you're there. Shredder tells the occupant that he already knows that she is there. And I know who you are Shredder of the Foot Clan, the girl said somewhere still hiding somewhere Shredder walks past. The girl ambushes him by throwing a kunai knife which only bounces off his armor. Is that the best you got? Shredder asks then the girl attacks him head on but Shredder grabs and throws her down his feet. The girl stands up and goes to grab Shredder's sword of Tengu but the results are the same she ended up getting electrocuted upon touching it. And she went skidding back to Shredder's feet. Just a reminder only the worthy can wield my sword of Tengu, and it seems you are unworthy to wield it. Shredder offers her hand and she accepted his help to get her to stand up again. I'm Kurenai, a orphan out of ninja training. Well I trained to become a ninja alone. Kurenai introduced herself to Shredder. Kurenai. Shredder thinks of Kurenai Yui before shrugging that thought off because the Kurenai he just met doesn't have a family name. So why'd you come to me Shredder? I came to you offer you to join my Foot Clan since you live here alone as an orphan. Well I had the same thing a long time ago. Shredder removes his helmet revealing himself as Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki. Kurenai must have known that name during the old days long before Naruto became the Shredder. Plus I want you to help me find my late mother Kushina Uzumaki. I know she was buried in Konoha but the question is where exactly in Konoha is she buried? Do you a little of how she died? Along with your father, Kurenai asked out of curiosity. They died protecting me from Kyuubi before he can kill me. After their deaths their final wishes is everyone in Konoha are supposed to hail me as a hero for saving the village from Kyuubi. Unfortunately their wishes were left unfulfilled all because the very corrupt and power-hungry Konoha Council who refused to see me that way. Naruto/Shredder tells Kurenai what happened to his parents, and what followed up afterwards. Must have been very hard without your parents by your side. It would have been the same anyway if my parents were still alive anyway. True, it would be the same if they were still alive. The corrupt and power-hungry council would have seen Naruto/Shredder like that anyway. Konoha Council. Hanar finally regained consciousness while a rainstorm hits Konoha. Oh good, you're awake, Hanar, Kakashi said, being delighted that Hanar is finally awake. Tsunade then approaches Hanar so she get any information she has gained during her infiltration in the Foot Clan. Okay Hanar, what have you discovered in the Foot Clan and the mystery of the QB roar that came from Shredder? Hanar might as well tell Tsunade who Shredder is because he doesn't care if his true identity is revealed anyway. Shredder is Naruto Uzumaki, Hanar answered, causing Tsunade, Kakashi and everyone in the room to going into shock, terrified and horrified as the thunder and lightning roared outside. What else aside from knowing Shredder is actually Naruto Uzumaki? Naruto/Shredder and the Foot Clan with their new ally and friend Kurenai will be coming for his late mother Kushina Uzumaki. This is very serious. They will be coming for her, and once she is resurrected, Kushina will probably not like what she will hear once she learn what happened following her and husband's death. Now comes the time to retrieve the body of my late mother Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. That's so shameful of the people who already knew who my parents and didn't bother to tell me about it. If this was just to protect me from all of my parents' enemies, especially the corrupt Konoha Council, maybe it would have been the same anyway with the corrupt Konoha Council. They'll still view me as the QB reincarnated. I really like to see the look in Mother's face once she realized that nobody honored her and my father's final wishes in the aftermath. Plus, it doesn't matter to me if everyone in Konoha calls me by my true identity. If Hanar told them that, I will resurrect my mother, but just not the way Orochimaru does it. It's my way. End of POV. Konoha. Foot ninjas attack Konoha in a horde like ants. Similar way like the xenomorphs in AVP film. The Foot Clan have come for Kushina's body now that they know where she was buried along with her husband. It's actually behind Naruto's old abandoned home. Ever since Naruto left, the only people who stop by there is those who know Naruto's family for a long time, and would always come around and clean the place up and tidy up everything. Dig it up and bring up the coffin of Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. Kurenai told the foot ninjas who started digging it up. Naruto, stop. Kakashi and some of the Konoha ninjas who are not distracted by the horde of foot ninjas manage to catch up with Shredder and his extraction team, even calling him by his real name. Let me guess, Hanar told you who I was behind the helmet of the Shredder. Naruto removes his Shredder helmet, revealing himself except that his hair is black now. You changed the color of your hair, Tsunade said after seeing his hair color is now black. Yes, Grandma Tsunade. For the record, you and Jiraiya were my godparents, and you Kakashi were a student of my parents, and yet you all choose to hide that from me. Naruto/Shredder accuses everyone who knew about his parents for not telling him about them. But we only did it to protect you, Naruto. Tsunade counters by telling it was only to protect him, but wouldn't not have mattered anyway to the corrupt Konoha Council anyway if they knew, but would not have put up with all that torment caused by the civilians who delusively think I was QB reincarnated. What else? It would not have mattered for the corrupted Konoha Council who will view me the same way like the civilians. Naruto/Shredder accuses again before putting his Shredder helmet back on. I will bring my mother back to life, but the way I'll do it isn't like Orochimaru's reanimated jutsu. Oh, just what is it, Naruto? Jiraiya asks, wanting to know, but it's not like Naruto/Shredder will give him a straight answer anyway. You're better off not knowing. Oh, and I highly believe my mother will not be happy once she is told about what happened to me after her and my father died protecting me from QB. Oh, it's really going to end badly once she finds out that. Kakashi charges at the foot ninjas as soon as they pull the coffin up, but Kurenai gets in his path and throws a hard punch in the gut, then high spin kicks him, sending him skidding back to Tsunade's feet. Nice shot, Kurenai, Shredder said, seeing Kurenai's moves impressive. Thanks, Shredder, Kurenai said, smiling. Then Shredder turns to Sasuke, who was there too. By the way, Sasuke, since you're here, I'll tell you that Itachi didn't massacre the entire Uchiha clan not for power. He did it because he was ordered to. What? This is no lie. For the record, when Hiruzen Sarutobi was still Hokage, the Uchiha clan were planning a coup against Konoha and Hiruzen wanted to a peaceful negotiation, but Danzo, who's power-hungry for not been selected Hokage, was not a man to wait for such thing. So he started by interfering with Shursui Uchiha job to suppress the coup. Then he ordered Itachi to massacre the entire clan. Oh, for the record, you weren't there when your clan was planning to stage a coup against Konoha. Sasuke's response to that is attacking him, but Shredder easily overpowers him by damaging both of his arms the same way Sasuke did to Zaku in the Chunin exam. We are done here now. Foot ninja disappear. Shredder throws a smoke bombs and disappears, and the horde of foot ninjas retreats from Konoha, and they took Kushina's coffin with them. I'll be back to destroy Konoha for good, and it matters not if I'm doing this like Madara Uchiha would have wanted for not following his vision of strife. Shredder tells them he will return to finish Konoha off. One more thing, I took the mantle of the Shredder after Orokusaki died of an illness. It's about time I got my mother resurrected and back on her feet, except the fact I'm not using any jutsu to do that because I purged all of that a long time ago. So I'm relying on sciences that has nothing to do with any of that. What else? My foot ninjas were able to wake Tayuya, although she gives a harsh greeting to all of us. Lastly, Sarah is finally out of her ice but not woken up yet. Well, I have plenty of patience to wait for Sarah's awakening because I am in no rush for this. End of POB. Foot ninjas carry Kushina's lifeless body is dumped into a green pool, which is the Lazarus Pit, the same one from the DC universe. Kushina's lifeless body sinks into the Lazarus Pit after being dumped there as Shredder watches and awaits her resurrections. You do realize your mom isn't wearing any clothes? Shizuka reminded him that Kushina isn't wearing any clothes being dumped into the Lazarus Pit. I already noticed, Shizuka. Shredder already knew. Then bubbles started popping out from the Lazarus Pit. Stand back, everybody. Shredder told everybody, and they all stand back, knowing the Lazarus Pit has done its job and resurrected Kushina. Kushina's hand eventually surfaces, and she crawls herself out of the Lazarus Pit, then sees Shredder approaching her. Shredder eventually takes his helmet off, revealing himself to his resurrected mother. Naruto? Despite the change of his hair, she still recognizes him due to the whiskers on his face. No one ever can forget a face like that. Yes, mother, and I'm the new Shredder too. Naruto, with tears, happily helps her up and embraces her while everyone, including Shizuka, watches. Mother and son reunited, or united at last, Hagoromo said, smiling along with Kurenai, Mikage and Natsuhi. Well, Tayuya has joined them now. Medical room. So Naruto, you're saying that jutsu and chakra doesn't exist anymore because you as the new Shredder had it all purge, Kushina in a hospital gown said after being told by Naruto/Shredder of that. It's because we rely too much on those things. By the way, Naruto, is she your wife or something? Kushina asked after seeing how close Shizuka is to him. Yeah. Shizuka is my wife and she's from Nadeshiko. Kushina chooses not say anything else after this because she already knows about Nadeshiko despite she never been there. Also, me and Hagoromo here are also catfighting over him with Shizuka, Mikage said, except the new girls Natsuhi, Kurenai and Tayuya are not interested on him and are only interested on serving him. Hagoromo glared at Mikage with a creepy smirk on her face, with her glaring back with some electric line coming from their eyes. But suddenly the moment gets interrupted when the dragon flies by outside. Whoa! You have a dragon, Naruto? Kushina asked after being surprised by the sight of the dragon. It's a tamed dragon, and it's loyal to me and anyone who follows my Foot clan. Okay, Naruto, did everybody in Konoha honor me and your father's wishes after our deaths? Kushina asked, and Naruto/Shredder is already prepared to tell her what happened after they died. Everyone in Konoha was supposed to hail me as hero for keeping Kyuubi at bay like you and Dad wanted. Unfortunately, it never happened. This gave Kushina a shock what she was hearing. What? Why? Fearfully and deluded civilians view me as Kyuubi reincarnate, which got me to deduce that they knew nothing of the Jinchuriki. Even many of Konoha Council who were corrupted and power-hungry view me the same way. Danzo, who's more corrupt and power-hungry for not being selected as the third Hokage, wanted me to be used as a weapon for total domination. I view them as the spawn of Madara Uchiha. More to that, those who did honor you and Dad's wishes choose to just hide my heritage to protect from everyone who hated Dad, but would not have put up with all that torment caused by the deluded civilians. But it would have been the same anyway if they told them that I'm actually yours and Dad's son. More to that, Tsunade and Jiraiya choose to just leave without even thinking about me. Kushina's eyes turns into anger after hearing everything Naruto/Shredder told her. She's not very happy that her and her husband's wishes were not fulfilled. Oh, I smell one smashed tomato coming our way, Natsuhi thought to herself after seeing the fires of anger in Kushina's eyes. All over the elemental nations, A very loud screech was heard, and it sounded like it came from a microphone. Well, indeed it's from a microphone, but the source of its location is in the Foot Clan HQ back at the Whirlpool Country. Its user is the resurrected Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, and she is ready to deliver a speech to Konoha and to all the inhabitants of the elemental nations. Hello, is thing on? Oh, good it is. To everyone who knows Kushina all too well, they recognize that voice. You'll never forget a voice like that. Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze resurrected here, Tsunade, Jiraiya and the rest of you of Konoha, after I and my husband Minato died protecting our son Naruto from Kyuubi. Everyone was supposed to view and hail him as a hero for keeping Kyuubi at bay, and that was our final wish. Sadly, I had to learn from my son, who is the Shredder and leader Foot Clan, that nobody fulfilled our wishes because a lot of you are fearful, corrupted and power-hungry. Oh, and lot of like to call him Kyuubi reincarnate. Well, he is not, you just have no knowledge of the Jinchuriki. Plus he calls you all the spawn of Madara Uchiha. Hearing that got almost everyone in Konoha with a lot of sweating bullets. Now you Tsunade and Jiraiya, including you Kakashi, Tsunade and Jiraiya are sweating in fear while Kakashi panics and hides behind Hanar. The both of you are supposed to take care of Naruto if something happens to me and Minato, but the two of you had to leave without even thinking about him. Lastly, you Kakashi, you trained Sasuke Uchiha instead of Naruto. I don't want to hear your excuses anyway for the reason why you didn't train Naruto. Oh please Kushina. A fearful Kakashi begged, but it's not like Kushina is going to listen to his excuses anyway. I'm going to smash your tomatoes as my son and his Foot Clan will burn Konoha to the ground for become an image of Madara Uchiha, and nobody will care about your excuses since I already know many of Konoha's allies have abandoned you after learning that you're going to exile my son after the Uchiha retrieval mission. Thankfully Naruto chose self-exile. I'm very disappointed in all of you. Kushina then ends her speech by throwing the microphone on the floor, causing the screech again. LOL. Foot Clan HQ Whirlpool Country. Is she serious about smashing their tomatoes? Sarah asked Kurenai if Kushina was serious about that. Yeah. HH. Sarah then collapsed on the floor fainting. Ouch Sarah, Kurenai said as the Killer Tomatoes, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes movie, runs past her trying to get away and evade Kushina, who is armed with large hammer trying to smash them. Now is the time to erase the Akatsuki for good, now that I'm ready to erase the weakened Akatsuki from the face of the elemental nations. Amigakure/Rain Village is their lair. They will barely stand a chance against me because they don't have their jutsus and chakra anymore due to the blast wave. More importantly is the Rinnegan and Sharingan are also gone. Haiden and Kakuzu, who were immortal original, are mortals again. That Venus flytrap guy named Zetsu, he died after being hit by the blast wave. I know the very person who's responsible for the death of my parents in the night I was born is there, and I know he will barely stand his ground against me without any help from his Sharingan. Lastly, I know he's been posing as Madara Uchiha the whole time. I bet he met the real Madara Uchiha sometime in the past, long before my birth. End of POV. Akatsuki Lair. Amigakure/Rain Village. Naruto/Shredder and his foot ninjas marched their way to the lair of Akatsuki. They met no resistances because the entire village looks deserted. When they enter the lair, they found Haiden and Kakuzu dead, and they look like they are burned out, must have succumbed to their mortal selves and died, Naruto/Shredder said to himself after seeing what happened to the immortal brothers. Naruto/Shredder then high kicks someone with an orange mask who out of nowhere attacks him. Show yourselves. All of you. Naruto/Shredder demanded. So the remaining weakened Akatsuki members Itachi, Kisame, Nagato/Pain, Deidara, Sasori and Konan reveal themselves. It's pointless for all you to keep on going with your goals. Even the tailed beasts are gone when I unleash that blast wave. Naruto/Shredder reveals that blast wave didn't only erase jutsu and chakra, even the tailed beasts were erased out of existences. Damn you Shredder. The guy with the orange mask reveals his scarred face to Naruto/Shredder after taking that mask off. So it was you after all, Obito Uchiha? The whole time you were posing as Madara Uchiha, and that Sharingan you acquired is from the real Madara Uchiha after you met him. That's correct, and I'm responsible for the death of your parents. I was shocked to learn that you resurrected your mother. She told me that I was insane when I was going to repeat what Madara Uchiha tried to do a long time ago. That failed again. I can spare the rest of Akatsuki if you all agree to disband. But not Obito, since he's done enough damage to my life. Naruto/Shredder will spare the others except for Obito, whom wants dead for the many bad things that led to his torments. That's fine enough for me, Shredder, since you already erase all of my goals after you unleash that blast wave. Obito agrees with Naruto/Shredder, so that means this battle is theirs alone. Shredder pulls out his sword of Tengu but tosses it away, which means he won't be relying on that. Relying on CQC Naruto? Itachi asks if that's what he's going to use against Obito. Of course, Itachi. By the way, you always known this man was Obito Uchiha, did you? Yes, I always did, Naruto. Sorry for not telling you in the first place. Itachi apologies for keeping that from him, and Naruto/Shredder accepts his apologies. Oh, one more thing, Naruto. This person next to me is Nagato, and he's an Uzumaki like you and your mother. Conan reveals that Nagato was an Uzumaki like him. Thanks for telling Conan. Naruto removes his Shredder helmet and thanked her for telling him that. Naruto/Shredder and Obito charge at each other. When they collide, it was Obito who fell on his back as Naruto/Shredder punches him in the face twice before Obito pushes him off him and rolls away. Both ninjas stand ready for another CQC. Obito throws a punch, but Naruto/Shredder caught it before punching him, sending him flying and slamming into a wall, leaving it dented. Can't even fight properly, can you, Obito? Naruto/Shredder taunts Obito over that. It's because of that blast wave which was caused by you. You can pin that on me since that blast wave was my doing anyway. Naruto/Shredder tells Obito he can blame him all he wants since the blast wave was his doing anyway. Obito recklessly charges and makes a slash with a kunai at Naruto/Shredder. He misses and Naruto/Shredder kicks him in the right leg to trip him. Obito falls and skids on the floor. When he gets up, Naruto/Shredder spins kicks him, sending him landing on Deidara and Sasori. Get back over there, Tobi or Obito. Deidara said as he and Sasori pushes him back to the battle against Naruto/Shredder again. Obito gets punched in the face, causing him to spit a single teeth from his mouth before resuming his fight against Naruto/Shredder. Obito throws many punches and kicks at Naruto/Shredder, but every one of them is a miss or blocked by Naruto/Shredder. Plus, Obito begins to weaken due to the blast wave's effects. You're becoming weak, Obito. Naruto/Shredder taunts him again. Shut it. Obito snarled at Naruto/Shredder. You think this is what Rin would have wanted? Naruto/Shredder knows some part of Obito's plans to destroy Konoha was also about avenging Rin Noira. It wasn't only just about finishing what Madara Uchiha started. Never speak her name again. You're unworthy to speak her name. Obito doesn't want to hear name from the Shredder. Typical of you, Obito, and this is where we say our goodbye. Lastly, my father has already been avenged, Naruto/Shredder said, making Obito wonder what he meant by that. Why? Obito's entire body suddenly ignites on fire, which actually caused by the effects of the blast wave. In the end, Obito's body is reduced to ashes, completely killing him. After the battle, get them both up. Naruto/Shredder ordered his foot ninjas get the lifeless bodies of Kakuzu and Haiden up. Naruto, they're both dead. Itachi reminds him the former immortal brothers are already dead. Are they? Naruto/Shredder asked if they really are. Naruto/Shredder was then given some symbols that he plans to use to wake the former immortal brothers up. Oh my, Conan said, covering both of ears. Clang! Hey ha ha ha! Both Haiden and Kakuzu woke up screaming and shaking after Naruto/Shredder clangs the symbols to wake them up, revealing they were never dead at all. They were just faking it the whole time. Naruto/Shredder marches his way to his throne room with foot elite ninjas as bodyguards. After reaching his throne, he sees all of his foot ninjas, including Mikage, Hagoromo, Tayuya, Kurenai, Natsuji, Sarah, and his mother Kushina gathered there. His wife Shizuka only sits on the throne because she is his queen. Naruto/Shredder sits on his throne next to his wife Shizuka. Oh, also the former Akatsuki are gathered there too. Microphone, Naruto/Shredder demanded, and Mikage hands one to him. Then the Foot Tech Ninjas activates the broadcast. Like before with Kushina's speech, that loud screech is heard once more. Great, another speech? Tsunade said while in her Hokage office. What is it this time? Shizen wondered the next speech will all about this time. This is the Shredder speaking, and this is the final message and speech to the inhabitants of the elemental nations. I'm now done with my errands that needed to be done. That errand was erasing the Akatsuki, but only killed one Akatsuki who responsible for my father's death in the very night of my birth, while the rest of the Akatsuki agreed to disband. That Akatsuki was named Obito Uchiha, who blamed Konoha for the death of his teammate Rin Noera. After being presumed dead, he met Madara Uchiha, who later gave Obito his Sharingan, which was the very same Sharingan that Madara Uchiha used to control Kyuubi during the battle against Hashirama Senju. After he died, Obito chose pose as Madara Uchiha and take his revenge on Konoha, but also finished what Madara Uchiha started a long time ago. That failed. After the formation of the Akatsuki, Obito cover himself posing as Tobi. The Akatsuki's primary objective is to gather all of tailed beasts and forge them into one, which is the 10-tailed beast. That never succeeded because of the blast wave I unleashed also erased all of tailed beasts too. Now that I'm done with the Akatsuki, I will now proceed with my final goal on destroying Konoha for turning into a corrupt and power-hungry village. The old Konoha that wasn't like that before died out a long time ago with the Senju clan gone. It's not my concern if I'm doing Madara Uchiha a favor if he's watching from the afterlife anyway. Naruto/Shredder doesn't care if Madara Uchiha from the after see what he's planning do is a favor to him. Once that's done, I will have the Whirlpool country, which was the birthplace of the old Uzumaki clan, rebuild into a city instead of just the Foot Clan HQ to be just the only thing standing there. I hope you're all ready for that, because Konoha had its time and its time is over. The speeches ends there when Naruto/Shredder puts the microphone down. Oh Naruto, Tsunade said, saddened by this. Even those who did everything they could to protect Sunagakure/Sand Village. This is where Konoha pays for what they have done to Naruto. Gaara, who heard the broadcast with Kankuro, Temari and Matsuri, agrees to let Konoha to be destroyed by the Foot Clan. Kirigakure/Mist Village. Very interesting, Metarumi said, smiling in a very sinister way. Kumogakure/Cloud. Go get them, Foot Clan. Killer Bee said, rapping with dozens of Kumo ninjas with Mabui. Imigakure/Stone Village. Grandfather, are we going to watch it happen? Yes, Kuratsuchi. This is for the Foot Clan to accomplish, Anoki told his granddaughter. Land of the Waves. You know, Grandpa, I believe we should rename the Great Naruto Bridge. Inari had the idea of changing the Great Naruto Bridge. I think you're right, Inari. How about Great Shredder Bridge, and we'll also add the Foot Clan symbol at the same time, Tsunami said, returning with drinks for them. Nice idea, Mom. Land of the Snow. This will be great shot for you, Naruto, Koyoki Kazuhana said, doing a film where she is acting as Shizuka and some random dude as Naruto Uzumaki the Shredder. Hanging on top of one of the buildings is the Foot Clan flag. Nadeshiko Village. Our princess by her lover's side, finally ready to proceed with his plan. Tokiwa said to all of the Nadeshiko ninjas gathered. Also raised the flag of the Foot Clan. Somewhere a distance away from Konoha, the same killer tomatoes are rolling their way to Konoha. The killer tomatoes, despite most of them got smashed by Kushina Uzumaki, made their choice to help the Foot Clan destroy Konoha. Oh, and Hinata Hyuga, who have a lost fate in her home, points her finger at the direction where the killer tomatoes are supposed to go. Before our second round with Konoha, I decided to give everyone in Konoha head start with the killer tomatoes that my mother was smashing around various times. I like to see how far can they survive and hold out against the killer tomatoes before we arrive. Hinata isn't there because she has already lost fate, so she's not getting involved in this killer tomatoes siege that I send out. Well, good luck to everyone in Konoha who will be trying to defend Konoha and fend off the killer tomatoes. If everyone believes in luck, that's for sure. End of POV. Konoha. The killer tomatoes are everywhere and killing anyone in Konoha, ninja and civilians alike. With the lack of jutsu, it's proven hard to defeat the killer tomatoes, as most of the Konoha ninjas ended up getting killed by killer tomatoes after being crushed by them. Most choose to just run away from the bigger size ones. Well, mostly the civilians, since they are not fighters like ninjas. Run for your life. A random female civilian shouted while being chased by a killer tomato that rolls after her, while the man behind her gets crushed when the second killer tomatoes gobbles him up. This is getting out of hand, Kakashi said, kicking a killer tomato up into the air like a soccer ball. Speaking of that, I hope Tsunade and Shizen are doing okay up in the Hokage Tower, because those killer tomatoes somehow found their way up. Jiraiya said, pointing his finger at the Hokage Tower where they can both see the killer tomatoes working their way up there. What else I took a guess from is Naruto and his Foot Clan is behind this attack of the killer tomatoes. Kakashi is really correct that the killer tomatoes is Naruto/Shredder's doing. Maybe he only wants us to get a head start from him before he and his Foot Clan can arrive to finish Konoha off. Jiraiya said while evading a high-power kick from Rock Lee, who's actually aiming for a killer tomato. Hokage Tower. Lady Tsunade, I think it's time we get out of the Hokage Tower, Shizen said, throwing a human-sized killer tomato out the window when it tries to smother her. Yes, we do, Shizen, Tsunade said as she evades a killer tomato coming her way before they jump out the broken window that was caused the killer tomatoes who found their way up to the Hokage Tower. Tenten is throwing dozens of kunai and shurikens, which defeats a big-sized killer tomato that was coming after her, while Niji smashes one with a rock while squashing one flat with his shoe. Rock Lee just kicks and spins dozens, sending them to splat after crashing into walls. Kiba smashes some and Akamaru only eats the killer tomatoes who attacks him. Well, tomatoes are really food after all. Whoa! This killer tomatoes never seem to end, Ayam said while she reads what's on the menu, with some of the killer tomatoes joining her to see what she's looking at. I think the only reason the killer tomatoes aren't attacking us is because you and me are not enemies to Naruto and his Foot Clan, Tucci said to his daughter. Don't forget about me, Anko said, eating some of stick foods that she loves so much. Even the killer tomatoes are having some with her. Hey, does this remind any of you of the 1978 film called The Attack of Killer of Tomatoes? Shiho asked if this reminds them of some film they must have seen somewhere before. Yeah, after all, these are the actually killer tomatoes that's attacking Konoha, Anko answers while a killer tomato steals her stick food that she was going to eat. There's a man named Mason Dixon and his trusted sidekick who are trying to figure out the mystery behind the killer tomato onslaught, Ayam said next while cleaning up some dishes while some killer tomatoes stay near her doing no harm. Sakura and Ino are trying to outrun a big-sized killer tomato that's chasing after them. They jump over the big building, but the killer tomato pursuing them smashes through it without taking any damage at all. Okami! Run for your life! Sakura and Ino restarted running and ran past Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke gets runs over by the killer tomato pursuing Sakura and Ino. Well, that didn't kill him, it only made him into a pancake. Sorry, Sasuke. Sakura apologies while running. Very sorry, Sasuke. Ino apologies too while the big-sized killer tomatoes continues to pursue them. Every one of the ninja clans have done their best to defeat or fend off the killer tomatoes, but they just keep coming and coming in an endless wave. But they all agreed this was the Shredders and Foot Clan's doing because he's giving them a head start before they can proceed on finishing what they started. When it's done, the Foot Clan would make themselves the dominant force in the elemental nations and bring the age of peace. Konoha isn't like how it was when the Uzumaki and Senju clan were around, it's just a corrupt village now. Despite Naruto/Shredder already killed many corrupt officials that he hated, he still sees Konoha as corrupt village and needs to be erased out of existences. For the record, Naruto/Shredder doesn't care if just did Madara Uchiha a favor because he wanted to destroy Konoha for rejecting his vision of strife. The last thing that was seen is the dragon from before is back to action and flies toward Konoha. Last time Konoha comes under siege by the attack of the killer tomatoes. Most of Konoha's inhabitants were crushed to death by the killer tomatoes, and some of the killer tomatoes were killed off by the Konoha ninjas, only for the killer tomatoes to become an endless wave. Well, only Anko, Ayam, her father and Shiho were left alone because Naruto/Shredder didn't see them as a threat anyway. Soon after the killer tomatoes comes to a halt, the dragon from before comes for round 2. Konoha, the killer tomatoes are retreating now, Shizen said while everyone who survived the attack watched the killer tomatoes leave Konoha. Well, I guess we're finished then, Jiraiya said, thinking they are finished here. Oh heads yee pee. Kakashi shouted after seeing the same dragon from before has returned. Run and take cover! Tsunade and everyone run and head for cover as the dragon breathes its fire, creating what looks a tidal wave of fire which incinerated several of Konoha ninjas and civilians. Somewhere far away in higher ground, Naruto/Shredder and his Foot Clan watches as Konoha comes under siege by his dragon a second time. They watch as most of Konoha's occupants, which are civilians, were incinerated by the dragon's fire breath. What do you want to next after your dragon has caused massive damage than last time? Shizuka asked. What does Naruto/Shredder's next plan of actions? We go down there ourselves and finish the job. Oh yeah, it's about time we get some actions ourselves, Mikage said, putting her fists together. Be patient about getting into action, Mikage, we'll all get our chance to fight, Hagoromo said to her. Except for Sarah, who will tag along with us but not fight alongside us because she's not a fighter, Tayuya said next. Hey, you all don't need to worry about me, because I'm staying by Kurenai's side. Well, that's good news, Natsu, he said next while giggling with Kushina. More smashed tomatoes, Kushina said, crushing an ordinary tomato in her hands. Back in Konoha. Konoha is now ablaze almost like before when the dragon first appeared. Sasuke on the ground attempts to flee, but the dragon lands directly in his path. Oh dear. Sasuke evades the dragon's fire breath, which only caused a little fire on his shoe, which he puts out with a big curtain. Tsunade returns and kicks it 3 times on the head, but the dragons suffer no damage or injuries but only make it mad. I'm only making you mad, Tsunade said after evading a chomp from the dragon. Jiraiya and Kakashi throws kunai knives with paper bombs, but the dragon blows its fire breath to destroy them before the kunai knives can touch it, but the explosion of cause it push back. The dragon resumes forward and runs to Enko, Ayam, her father and Shiho, but the dragon only leaves them alone. See ya. Enko said bye to the dragon, who keeps walking forward. Dragon marched its way to the Konoha Hokage Tower. It's actually to destroy it. Should we stop that dragon from burning down the Hokage Tower? Shizen asked if that what they should do. Unfortunately we cannot. You saw that our attacks on the dragon is useless because of its giant size. Besides, we don't even have our jutsu or chakra anymore. Tsunade tells to Shizen they cannot because they are powerless ninjas now, so they cannot do anything to stop the dragon from burning down the Hokage Tower. The dragon breathes its fire breath, but this time in full power, and the entire Hokage Tower is engulfed in flames. The dragon backs away as the Hokage Tower falls to the ground, destroyed in the flames of the dragon. It then flaps its wings and lifts off into the air, meaning it might be finished with its job, and flies away from Konoha. But not before ramming the Konoha gates, destroying it too and destroying the Hokage faces as well. Konoha, the village hidden in the leaf and one of the super-powered ninja villages of the elemental nations. Konoha was first founded by the Senju, Uzumaki and Uchiha clan. For many years Konoha has survived countless shinobi wars and battles against its enemies like random rogue ninjas, Kumos/Cloud, Iwa/Stone and Odo/Sound. Suna/Sand was Konoha's enemy briefly when they teamed up with Odo/Sound in an effort to destroy Konoha and failed. Suna/Sand eventually returned to be Konoha's allies afterwards. What else that Konoha was saved from his Madara Uchiha's treachery after being rejected for his vision of strife. The Foot clan under the leadership of Orokusaki aka the Shredder was one of Konoha's enemies, but reasons for this is unknown. After Mito Uzumaki Senju defeats Shredder, the Foot clan was never seen again, but they actually vowed to return when the time comes. Their Foot clan HQ is located in the Whirlpool country, which was the birthplace of the old Uzumaki clan. Over the years to come, Konoha is starting to become completely corrupted with the Senju and Uzumaki clan gone. This corruption is coming from the Konoha Council because many Konoha Council members like the Shinobi Elders, Shinobi members and largely the civilian council members are corrupt and power-hungry. They would also schemed against the Hokages of Konoha. Danzo Shimura on the other hand wanted to turn Konoha into a tyrant and make the tailed beasts into weapons. According to him, he believes this tyrant way is how Konoha should be protected. Oh, even the civilians who are not member of the Konoha are somewhat like corrupt because they torment Naruto due to their deluded belief that he is QB reincarnated, unaware of the seal inside Naruto. Unfortunately to the Foot clan, Danzo Shimura is only like this due to not being chosen to Hokage, and Hiruzen Sarutobi was instead chosen. The Foot clan would offensively call Danzo Shimura the spawn of Madara Uchiha because his belief and desires is identical as Madara Uchiha. Danzo's schemes was when the Uchiha clan was staging a coup against Konoha. The Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi tried to solve it through peaceful solution, but Danzo, who was very corrupt and power-hungry, was not a man to wait for that, so he forced Itachi to slaughter all of them, which in turn drove Sasuke in the darkness. That's because he isn't aware of the coup. Sure glad that Danzo is dead now thanks to Shredder, who ripped his face in half, while his fellow shinobi elders have been decapitated by Shredder's claw and sword of Tengu. One thing's to be certain is Shredder wants Sasuke Uchiha dead is because there is no reforming him anyway. He also plans to have Itachi forge a new Uchiha clan in the end. Final things to be certain that Konoha deserved to be destroyed, because the old Konoha that was peaceful doesn't exist anymore. The new Konoha that's full of corruption and power hungriness makes. Last time the dragon returns for round 2 and begins burning Konoha some more and making massive damage to the village. It was so very pointless to fight back without any jutsu and chakra. Any hits they throw on the dragon only makes it mad and it suffers no damage from that. Next the dragon burns down the Hokage tower, then destroys the main gate and the Hokage monuments before flying away. In higher ground, Naruto/Shredder, Shizuka, Mikage, Hagoromo, Natsuhi, Kurenai, Sarah, Kushina, Taiyuya and all of the foot ninjas says it's time for to take some action. Before we jump in, let me make an X in Konoha as symbol of its destruction just like I wanted it to be. Naruto/Shredder pulls out his sword of Tengu and raises it in the sky, then it ignites in a bolt of lightning that fires from the sky like a beam. The lightning-like beam strikes Konoha, creating or forming an X shape on Konoha like Naruto/Shredder wanted. The second one eventually finishes forming the X shape on Konoha. That done it. Now let's get down there. Naruto/Shredder and his Foot Clan now get a move down to the ruined Konoha. Well, it's about time, Mikage said, smirking for action. Behind them is Hinata Hyuga, who just sits there and watches them preparing to erase Konoha out of existences from the map of the elemental nation. Because of all that corruption, Konoha had its time. Now that time is over. Konoha ruins. Konoha now nothing more than a pile of rubble. Tsunade and Shizen emerges from the rubble. Where did that lighting beam come from? Shizen asks Tsunade while they wipe themselves from all of the dirt that came from the rubble. I have no idea, Shizen. I bet it was Naruto and his Foot Clan that did that with the use of his sword of Tengu. Kakashi answered the question. So where is he now? Jiraiya asked until they hear incoming shoe steps. Right here, Naruto/Shredder answer, turning everyone's attention to him, and the Foot Clan that just appears out of nowhere. Naruto, you don't need to do this. Konoha is your home, Tsunade pleaded, trying to get him to reconsider. Unfortunately, Konoha isn't my home anymore, Grandma Tsunade. All that corruption have completely damaged me far enough. Even my own resurrected mother had agreed with that. My father isn't here, but do you know he would feel if can see that all of you didn't accept his final wish before he died? Naruto/Shredder asked them if they can see the look in Minato's face, and how he could have felt for not accepting his final wish before his death, even though he isn't here. That's what I thought, Naruto/Shredder said when they gave him no answer, only leaving a pause. That's so much like Tsunade and you too, Jiraiya, Kushina said with a look of disgust that they didn't stay with Naruto like they should have if anything happens to her and her husband. I can spare all of you except for Sasuke. Naruto/Shredder tells them he will spare all of them all except of Sasuke. Naruto, why? Sakura said, wanting to know why would Naruto/Shredder just kill Sasuke. He doesn't deserve to live. In case you're all short on memory, Itachi only slaughtered the entire Uchiha clan because they were planning on staging a coup d'etat, all because the Sharingan fell into its dark side, the curse of hatred. Originally Hiruzen Sarutobi was planning to do peaceful solutions with a little help from Shisui Uchiha. But Danzo, who has become power-hungry and corrupted for not being selected as Hokage, prevented that from ever happening and ordered Itachi to slaughter them all, including Mikoto Uchiha. Sasuke didn't know about the coup because he wasn't there. Naruto/Shredder blurted that out if everyone in the ruins in Konoha was short on memory. But it wouldn't matter anyway for Sasuke because he'll just be angry at the entire Konoha village. Naruto/Shredder then disappears from the scene. Sasuke and Konoha ninja and non-ninja looks around to see where he is. Crash! Sasuke rolls off after a fist punches through a glass window. Sasuke turns around to see Naruto/Shredder. Our parents originally wanted us to be friends and that was their wishes. Naruto/Shredder pulls out his sword of Tengu but drops it on the floor, not willing to use to settle this final fight with Sasuke. But sadly, tragedy caused by power-hungry, corrupted officials and revengeful ninjas had to break it. Sasuke implies is because of people like Danzo, Obito/Madara, and probably there are others had to make their parents' wishes go fulfilled. Fight scene similar to Doom 2005 film between Reaper/Carl Urban and Sarge/Dwayne Johnson The Rock. Just as Sasuke tosses away all of this kunai and shurikens, Naruto/Shredder lunges at him and both former friends fight. Naruto/Shredder picks him up and spins him around before tossing him into broken metal door. Sasuke gets up and kicks Naruto/Shredder on the helmet face. He does it again, but Naruto/Shredder evades it with a jump up and punches Sasuke in the gut before grabs and flip jumps, sending him flying into a broken house. Naruto/Shredder follows him up, but Sasuke managed to subdue him by wrapping the metal bars around his right arm and attempts to strangle him. But he managed to break free from whatever strength he had, causing Sasuke to fly off building and land back to the ground. He takes a look at Naruto/Shredder, who unwraps the metal bar from his right arm and forms it into disc, which he throws at Sasuke. Despite he shielded himself from it, the impact still made him fall on his back. Naruto/Shredder slashes his wrist gauntlet at him but miss, and Sasuke lunges at him, but Naruto/Shredder elbows him and punches him, sending him crashing into a wall. Sasuke gets back on his feet and grabs Naruto/Shredder kick and slams him into a wall. Sasuke jumps and high kicks Naruto/Shredder and then pins him to a wall. Naruto/Shredder notices Sasuke's face started to change into that horrifying aura of the curse of hatred, despite he doesn't have his Sharingan anymore due to the blast wave that erased that along with the jutsu and chakra, and he starts to growl like a monster. Sasuke's curse seal form mixed with the curse of hatred. Well, I guess not even my blast wave can erase that either, Naruto/Shredder mutters to himself as he watches Shizuka, Mikage, Hagoromo, Sarah, Natsuhi, Taiya, Kurinai and Kushina form up and use their jutsu to create a bubble that will teleport Sasuke somewhere else. Naruto/Shredder headbutts Sasuke, then use his strength to push Sasuke toward the bubble. Naruto/Shredder spins him around and Sasuke's legs gets caught in the bubble, but Sasuke hangs on Naruto/Shredder's right arm. Naruto/Shredder stabs Sasuke's arms with his wrist gauntlet, causing Sasuke to let go and gets teleported somewhere else after getting sucked into the bubble. Where Sasuke landed is some kind of lab, the same possible lab where Mecha Naruto was built/created, that was long abandoned. Konoha ruins. This where we say our goodbye, Sasuke, and now Itachi will rebuild the Uchiha clan himself, Naruto/Shredder said, picking up and arming a grenade, same grenade from Doom 2005, from his belt and throw it into the bubble. Abandoned lab. Sasuke sees the grenade and making a loud high-pitched sound is the sign that it's about to detonate. LWWWWWWHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHSasuke made his final scream as the grenade detonates in abandoned lab and destroying him along with the abandoned lab for good. After defeating Sasuke for good, Naruto/Shredder tells every survivor of Konoha that's now destroyed in a shape of an X that he spares them, but they will go into exile, and if they want to visit him they will just ask him or any of us in the Foot Clan through messages, then he will allow them to see him. Soon after their exile to wherever they will go to and make a new home, all in the elemental nations who have been long-time friends to Naruto/Shredder, even new people from other village that hasn't even met yet have submitted to the Foot Clan. Plus the daimyos made the Foot Clan the ultimate super-powered country. As for the two ninja villages of Iwa and Kumo, who originally had grudges on his family, have finally given up with their grudges and submitted to the Foot Clan. The final thing that Naruto/Shredder wants is to have children of his own. Well, since I fell in love with him, I'm up for it. Oh, Mikage, Hagoromo, and Hinata too are up for it as well, while the rest of the others, all except for Kushina and Natsuhi, are also want children with Naruto/Shredder. My Naruto/Shredder is going to be surrounded by us girls, all except for his mom and Natsuhi. Natsuhi need to return to the Star Village to reunite with her only son Summer, that's for sure, but we'll see her again someday. Oh, a new Uchiha clan is being started with Itachi, who fell in love with Shizen. Her father and Anko were invited to stay in the Foot Clan since they always supported Naruto/Shredder for many years. What else do I know is the former Konoha ninjas have hooked with each other. Jiraiya was able to get Tsunade to date him. Ino and Shikamura hooked with each other, Niji and Tenten too. Sakura now dates Rock Lee with Sasuke now dead. Kakashi and Hanar are living a life together as lovers. Kurinai and Asuma are together like they always have and now have a child of their own. Well, everyone who already hooked up will have children in the future, as much as I and the other girls will have with Naruto the Shredder, and they will be the grandchildren of Kushina. We have no idea where the killer tomatoes went, but I'm pretty sure they are still around. End of POV. Naruto in his Shredder armor is sleeping in his throne, woke up only to find all of his girls, all except for his mother, and Natsuhi sleeping on his lap or wherever they find comfortably. Well, Hagoromo seems to wrap her multifox-tailed around them as a makeshift blanket. Well, I guess this is a good morning to everyone, and Shizuka, who sits next to me as my queen, Naruto/Shredder said, and rubbing his gloved hand on Shizuka's cheek. Naruto, I already knew you had feelings for me many years ago, Hinata. That's why I'm allowing you to be here as well and become part of my family. Naruto/Shredder reveals that for a long time he knew about Hinata's feelings toward him. Thank you, Naruto. Hinata then wraps her arms around him. Hey, don't forget about the rest of us, Tayuya reminded. I haven't forgotten, Tayuya. Oh, and Sarah, I will help you rebuild your country of Roran. Yes, but I want the flag of the Foot Clan up there as well. Sarah imagines her country of Roran rebuilt with the Foot Clan flag hanging on the top. Outside the throne room, Kushina, who's just outside ready to deliver breakfast for all of them, listens to the conversation they are having. My, what cute family that my family has, Kushina commented before entering. Random individual POV. And thus this story and adventure of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze as the Shredder ends. If one thing is told, if you live in a ninja village that's full of corruption in it, it deserves to be destroyed, then rebuild if it has to be. Enjoy your random ninja village while still got. Believe it! Ha! 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 This is Boruto Uzumaki Namikaze Hyuga, signing off. The final part is shown as Naruto/Shredder's dragon flying around before staring at the camera and burns it with its fire breath, causing everything on the screen to go static. Oops, sorry about what my dad's dragon just did, but he's actually the counterpart of my dad, Boruto said on the static screen. Thanks for watching this video. You really enjoy this video. Like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow Scout Troop for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.